HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
It's Kevin and Query.
I throw, you catch. It's not that hard, okay? All right, get the out of here.
I'm going to talk a lot about drills and fundamentals.
Watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it.
On 93.5
Watch it.
and 107.5.
Boom, baby.
The Fan.
Kev, I guess if anybody's dragging this morning, it means one of two things. They stayed up to watch the entire Purdue-Penn State game, or they're a Purdue fan, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I thought to myself, man, Purdue fans, the last time they witnessed their football or basketball team play was St. Peter's, and then they had to watch that last night. Thoughts with Purdue fans on this Friday morning. Had a lead late, could not finish against Penn State. They lose 35-31 for those that did not make it. It was past midnight. 12:02, 12:03?
It was just past midnight. Yep.
I did Wordle, I think right before the final drive started. That's when I knew we were into the next day.
For Friday?
Yeah. Pretty easy Wordle, I think, for today. A little cotton candy sky, if I may, over Riley Towers.
It is.
Yeah, on this Friday morning. Kevin and Query, good Friday morning to you. A couple of newsy items from yesterday to get to Colts and Pacers front, both positively impacting the Colts and Pacers. We'll chat a lot about that. Greg Rakestraw, Matt Taylor on this Friday morning. But yeah, Jake, that's one. Man, that's that's a game you're going to come back to later in the year, and you think 8-4, 9-3, and that's the difference between being like that or being 7-5 and 6-6. And I hate to put so much stock into one game because I do think Aiden O'Connell looked great. I thought Charlie Jones lived up to all the offseason hype, and that passing offense is only going to continue to be a strength for them. And honestly, O'Connell's probably going to be the best quarterback on the field, maybe in every game Purdue plays this season. But gosh, that end of the first half. I know everybody wants to point to the end of the game, Jake. That end of the first half, that kid who puked there late in the game, I think Purdue fans were puking at the end of the first half and how that finished.
Yeah, listen. First off, the guy that puked at the end of the game.
After a pick six, for those that missed it.
Correct.
A great return.
I think, not to be graphic here, I never thought the day would come where I would go John Madden telestrator on a vomit, but it looked like he must have just downed a bottle of Gatorade, and it just, how sometimes you drink something too fast and you get like an air bubble almost, and
You're like, nope, come right back up.
I thought it had a great stream to it.
It was clearly orange Gatorade, I can tell you that. That, or I was like, whoa, when did he drink that much? So clearly that's what that was. But look, when it came down to it, you had to be able, today's certainly NFL, and to an extent college football, is one in the air. Well, let me rephrase that. Games are usually controlled in the air, but one on the ground. When it comes down to it and you've got a lead, you've got to be able to run the football to salt clock. And if you can't and you decide to stick with your bread and butter, and I get it, the air game is going to be their bread and butter, right? But when you stick to it to the point where you give a team the ball back, and as much as Aiden O'Connell was praised last night for being, a great player and making some great throws, credit Penn State, man. When it came down to it, they went 80 yards right down the field, right?
Yeah, I mean, O'Connell showed poise all night long and made big throw after big throw. The one he would like to have back is that final third down, the ball to TJ Sheffield. It would have been a tough throw, and the Penn State DB did make a nice play on it, but it was definitely underthrown by O'Connell. Jake, I'm probably in the minority based off how Twitter is, but I had little issue with Jeff Brom putting the ball in Aiden O'Connell's hands there late. He's your 6-year quarterback. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Purdue was the worst rushing team in college football last year. Worst rushing team in college football. And if they would have gone 3 and out with 3 runs up the middle, Purdue fans would be irate. And, oh my gosh, that's just such a loser mentality. That's, 1980, 1990 football. Could they have had some more higher percentage throws? Sure. But if you look at that drive, they converted a huge third down early in the drive. And I'm talking about the drive when they're leading 31-28. They convert a third down to Charlie Jones early in that drive. They get into a 2nd and 6. That was the wild Payne Durham. Looked like he caught it. They overturned it. And then 3rd and 6 is when he underthrew Sheffield there. If they get a first down, it's pretty close to ice in the game. I also feel like this, Jake, with how the clock stops in college football after first downs, I think it's really difficult to purely run out the clock.
Yeah, that's fair.
Penn State still had 2 timeouts. They've got to, they have a veteran quarterback that I know was in and out, but you're not trying to obviously give him the ball back, and clearly he went right down the field. My bigger issue for Purdue last night was the end of the first half. The fumble on a jet sweep on 3rd and 1 when they're in field goal range, sneak it, you just move the chains, and then horrific tackling, and Penn State scores when it's just desperation mode. Penn State is trying to get a 30 or 40-yard gain with 15 seconds to go, try to somehow get into field goal range. Purdue just bouncing off Penn State pass catchers. That swing right there was probably in the 10-point range against a quality opponent like Penn State. You just can't do that.
Good morning to you, by the way. That's Kevin Bowen. My name is Jake Query. Mark Dykton here as well, although clearly asleep because Kevin mentioned St. Peter's. We did not hear a peacock sound.
I was told that we didn't want to do the peacock sound.
I thought yesterday we should take Jake, can you imagine your last 2 Purdue sport viewings?
So the last 2 viewings would be against the Penn State Nittany Lions, right? And then if we're including basketball, it would again been against St. Peter's.
There you go.
See, Jake, you did that on purpose there. You did that on purpose.
The Peacocks.
You wanted the Bobcat sound for the Nittany Lions. I know you did.
Do we have the Bobcat sound?
Mark, I just had to move my camera. You didn't tell me I was way off.
Somebody told me the other day that the camera, they were like, why does Kevin always have
the mic right in front of the camera?
mic right in front of his face?
Yeah.
Are you going to a Notre Dame pep rally later?
Gosh. That's the battle cry in South Bend as they board the buses for Columbus.
The best part.
Is it going to be ugly tomorrow night?
I haven't looked at the forecast.
17.5 points.
Listen, I think.
How do you think it's going to go?
I'm nervous. For those that don't know, Notre Dame's starting a quarterback who's never started before in college football. I do think offensive line, defensive line are strengths, which I think people are kind of used to with Notre Dame. They're really, really light at the wide receiver position. They've got one of the best tight ends in college football. I just don't know if they have the run game to do what Oregon and Michigan did last year to Ohio State. Should we do scores to end the show? Or are we in football season now where we do some scores to end the show?
Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that now or when NFL starts, but we can do that.
I think a slight cover.
Is it still 17.5?
38-24.
Okay, wait till the show's over, man.
Well, people are listening at 7:08. Or
I really thought Ball State would cover down at Tennessee. Boy.
Jake, it was 38-0 at half.
Well, Tennessee's probably pretty good, right?
This is kind of what sums up where I'm at right now in life. Ball State throws an interception on the first play of the game, and I'm like, hey, Maddie, you got to see this. Watch this play. And she literally goes, why the hell would I want to watch that? I don't know if there's a madder human being that football is back than my wife.
Yeah,
and she's pregnant too, so she's ready
right.
To
I mean, she's obviously
38
weeks pregnant. Looks like she's gonna pop at any minute here. But yeah, I got the vibe that when I said, "How great is this? Purdue tonight, IU tomorrow night, and Notre Dame Saturday night." The same joy that I had in expressing that, I didn't feel on the
reciprocation.
Other end of that. No, I did not.
Did you sleep on the couch last night?
I probably deserve that.
Kevin, you will appreciate this. I thought about you when I got this yesterday. This from my mom, okay? Now, not to we've mentioned the fact that tomorrow's my birthday, right?
Yes.
Why haven't you said anything?
I honestly, I try not to be that guy, I promise you, but.
To be fair, you've said you aren't a big birthday guy, but 50 and everything you've gone through it has a different meaning.
Correct.
And rightfully so.
So my mom sent me this that I thought you would appreciate. Just an FYI, today, that was yesterday, was your due date, and I had a doctor appointment that afternoon. He said the baby is ready to be induced. Let me call Dr. Rice and see if he can meet you at the hospital. Dr. Rice was playing golf, so what about the next day? All three had tea times for Saturday, So be at Methodist at 6:30 Sunday morning, and we'll get this show on the road. So you were born on September 3rd rather than the 1st or the 2nd due to the game of golf.
Due to convenience, basically.
And your hatred for golf has been evident ever since.
I was like, I'm ready.
I
Get
just
me out of here.
I just laugh at like the one-on-one relationship between your mom and the doctor and golf being the excuse that he uses.
Right.
Or she uses, I don't know.
I know you're ready to pop, but I'm trying to beat the club record here.
I got a huge match tomorrow morning, so
So Calcutta, what do you want me to do?
So this is child number 2 for you. Where do things stand? If you don't, I mean, I don't want to be personal.
Yeah, it sounds like a week from today. Induction time for baby number 2. We tried to, we did the whole name game last night. I basically said to Maddie, I don't know if this is a fair trade. Part of me was kind of like, gosh, she's been carrying the baby for 8 months now. I should probably just let her pick the names. But I said this to her. She thinks it's a boy. We are not finding out the sex. And I said, all right, you pick the boy name. I'll pick the girl name. She has like 80%, 90% certainty that it's a boy. I felt like that was a decent offer by me. Again, similar to the football comment, I don't know if it was reciprocated at the level that in my head I thought it sounded a lot better than when I said it out loud.
Well, you kind of need to have something picked for right? I mean, don't they usually ask as opposed to just like...
Well, yeah, I don't think... I mean, they want you to fill out the birth certificate before you leave the hospital. Now, are you purchasing something over there? I saw you take out your credit card.
I'm filling out...
Paying the tutor?
He's paying for your hospital bill ahead of time.
I did all of my... we're doing all of our online boarding.
Yeah, I still got to turn in my papers.
So that's... Mark did... Okay, let me ask you something. Yesterday, for the new employee, because we're now employees of Urban One or Radio One, right? Mm-hmm. And I thought I filled a bunch of stuff out, and then now I can't find... Because there was one thing left. I had to go back this morning to do it, and I can't find it. Did I turn that stuff in yesterday?
I don't know.
But I'm asking you, did they take?
So I did all mine digitally, but then the way it formatted some stuff, like you have to resubmit. I'm like, okay.
But I mean, so I can't. Did I actually hand something over to them yesterday?
I mean,
was Mark with you at the time?
I was gonna say I wasn't, but I was gonna say you probably to get you in the system, probably license or social security number.
Okay, let me rephrase this then. The packet that I would have filled out as opposed to manually entered.
No.
I can't remember. Were they physically accepting those packets yesterday?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I think
that means I have misplaced mine, so I need to redo it, which is what I was doing.
Jake, I'm kind of mad at Peyton Manning.
Why is that?
You guys see the Manningcast announcement? 10 games.
No Colts again?
No Colts.
Wow. That must have that's obviously on purpose.
That's Peyton being a politician, right, Jake? That's Peyton afraid to say anything mean about Chris Ballard and Frank Reich, who he pseudo-hired probably. He's got Broncos games, if I saw correctly. I think there's
it's the first one.
Eli Giants game on there. No issue doing Broncos and Giants. Colts, Chargers, Matt Ryan, and Justin Herbert.
I think Peyton Manning.
I don't see a Giants game on there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's one. Yeah, there's Denver in week 1, week 3 is Dallas and New York.
Yeah, because that Giants quarterback situation, boy, nothing screams. Let's talk about Daniel Jones.
I think that Peyton Manning, and I don't blame him. I'm not going to say petty. I don't blame Peyton Manning in this regard. Peyton Manning grew up with the highest of reverence for the game of football. He saw, growing up, there were two things that Peyton Manning witnessed growing up. He witnessed that his father is a beloved legend in the state of Mississippi, and at Ole Miss on the campus, the speed limit is his father's jersey number.
Is it really?
Yeah. And he grew up seeing that his father was a beloved figure in the city of New Orleans, where, albeit his father did not play the totality of his career, but where his father played and where he and his brothers grew up, and that was his city. And I think that Peyton Manning, who would sit in his bed and listen to old Miss games on radio tapes of his dad's games and knew about Johnny Unitas and wore cleats in his honor, I think all of that stuff is really important to him. And I think for Peyton Manning, when he got drafted in Indianapolis, and played his career here, there were two things for him that were really important. Actually, three. One was to win a Super Bowl here. One was to leave a legacy here, a la a children's hospital. And one was to have a city that for him was his dad's New Orleans. And I think by being released by the Colts, despite basically stating while he understood it that he wanted to stay here, that when Denver signed him, his thought process completely shifted then to Denver is now my New Orleans. It is my what should have been Indianapolis, because they wanted me in the end when Indianapolis did not. I don't mean the city, I mean the franchise. And so I think now he, in very subtle ways, yes, he comes back to do the right things for the Colts. I get that. And he speaks very highly, and he was...
Yeah, shows up at the Ring of Honors.
Correct. He does all of those things. Don't get me wrong. But if you look at it when he does the ring, the Manningcast, or when he shows up in places, or when he puts out a little promotional video on social media, he's got a Broncos helmet behind him. He's got an orange tie on. He's in Denver where his kids live. I just think that he said, you know what, fine. And I'm not saying that he's necessarily angry, but I think that he is resentful over the fact that he, in his mind, was denied that New Orleans standpoint.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of validity to what you're saying there. I'm just bummed, frankly. I would love to hear his insight. I think him and Matt Ryan have a very good relationship. Again, like I said earlier, I think he was a big factor in Frank Reich being the hire. I don't know as much Chris Ballard. I probably overspoke there, but certainly Frank Reich. And I guess if you want to go on the excuse front, the two Monday night games for the Colts this year, they both are after holidays. Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Right.
So, that's probably a bit of a cop-out. I thought great Pacer news yesterday, Jake, with the Donovan Mitchell trade. And I know when a player like that gets traded to your division, you're probably like, wait, what? But let's go over the parameters of Cleveland and Indiana and that Karis LeVert draft pick trade that is still up in the air. If Cleveland makes the playoffs this year, that means their first-round pick, which obviously in all likelihood would be in the 20s, would be sent to Indiana. Last year, Cleveland missed it. They lost both their play-in games. So that first-round pick last year was kept by Cleveland. But with this move of Donovan Mitchell now becoming a Cleveland Cavalier with him and Darius Garland in the backcourt, LeVert on the wing, Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley in the front court.
That's a lineup, man.
Jake, that's a lineup.
It is. And a young one.
And that's a team making the playoffs. So yes, on the court within the Central Division, if you care only about wins and losses for the Pacers, which good luck this year, that's not great news. But for a team that clearly still has more steps to go in the rebuild, this to me all but ensures a third first-round pick for Indiana next year. Obviously, they'll have their own first-round pick. They have the first-round pick coming from Boston in the Malcolm Brogdon deal, and then this would be their third one. I love it. Gives you great flexibility, and this is exactly, I think, the type of news. I've said this several...
That's a really good point, though, about that draft pick.
I said this several times throughout the offseason, Jake. I kind of wanted to see the Pacers hitch their wagons in a third-team deal to Donovan Mitchell or Kevin Durant, and obviously they didn't do that here, but this is, to me, the other best-case scenario. You should not be sweating out Cleveland's pick this year. Whereas last year, literally our morning checkdowns were like, hey, how'd the Cavs do last night?
I mean, do you remember literally it was every game we're like, is Cleveland going to play their way out of this?
I felt like it was like, right at, we came back from the All-Star break, and the All-Star break in the NBA is really like 3/4 of the way through the season, and we were kind of like, Cleveland's starting to leak some oil here. Like, are they definitely going to be in the playoffs? And sure enough, they did not make the playoffs. So, again, Donovan Mitchell to the Cavs. The Cavs send Colin Sexton, the Abaji kid. Remember him from Kansas?
Yeah.
One of Kansas's better players on that national title team. Lauri Markkanen, and 3 unprotected first-round picks. I mean, Utah is saying, we are the new Oklahoma City Thunder with this tank. Danny Ainge is all in on the tank.
And that's why I think Quinn Snyder just said, you know what, I'm not going to do it. And that's why Quinn Snyder,
I forgot about that Quinn Snyder drama. That was the first domino, really, of the offseason, right?
I think he just, and I get it, right? I think Quinn Snyder was just like, you know what, been there, done that. I'm good.
Great news on the Shaq Leonard front. He practiced again yesterday. That was something that I was curious about during yesterday's show. Would he go 2 days in a row? He did. The Colts will now have Labor Day weekend off. They will practice on Monday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'll reiterate what I said yesterday, and we'll talk with Matt Taylor about this more in the 9 o'clock hour. That leaves the opportunity for Leonard to practice 6 straight sessions. I understand that it's a weird injury.
That's your magic number, right?
I understand that he's been out since January. I get that Chris Ballard said the other day that this is like the first day of spring for Shaq Leonard in terms of ramping it up. Jake, you practice 6 straight days. I don't know, maybe you pitch count him in week 1, but that, I'm starting to change a little bit of my thinking. I'm not all the way there yet because I think they get it's a long season. Maybe he's not fully integrated into practice yet. But if you go 6 straight practices, I mean, can he give you 30 or 40 snaps week 1 in Houston?
It looks to me like I think now, and I've completely shifted.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I thought week 3.
I think now he may play. Right? Like I just look at it and I go, okay, like all the tea leaves were one way, and then as soon as he gets out there and he's on the practice field, you're like, I think they were just precautionary, and that's smart of them. I don't blame them. But I just feel like they were precautionary, and now all signs look like he's going to be out there.
As they head into regular season week, and Jake will probably go ahead and throw out the 7:21 and 50 seconds on Friday morning.
Sounds like he just did.
All 22 starters practicing.
7:22. 7:22 on a Friday. And it is a Friday. That's the beauty of it. We got a good show lined up, right, Kev?
The cotton candy kind of faded away.
It did.
It was there at 7 o'clock, trust me, on that one. Looks like a nice weekend here. Week 3, high school football. We'll run down a little bit of the slate. Again, Indiana and Illinois tonight from is it still Memorial Stadium? I'm always confused. Do IU and Illinois have the same basketball arenas and football?
That is correct. Mm-hmm. And this one's in which place?
This is Bloomington.
It's Welcome to the Rock Memorial Stadium. Don Fisher, the one person that still calls it the Rock.
Year 50 for him, right?
That is correct.
Hell of a run for Don Fisher. As the Hoosiers get underway tonight, we'll continue to chat about Purdue's heartbreak last night. Again, I know everyone will point to the end of the game wanting four corners offense and run the football. I understand where Jeff Brom's line of thinking was in putting the ball in his best player, his quarterback's hands. I thought the bigger issue was the collapse to end the first half.
Fair enough. You
kind of gave Penn State another life there, and I get it. Purdue came back and took the lead, but I mean, you literally handed them like 10 points. You hand a good football team with a 6-year starter at quarterback 10 points. Sean Clifford has been at Penn State as long as Scotty Reynolds was at Villanova. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Was that a preemptive? Here's the thing with sneezing. I feel like if you say bless you the first time, you're covered for that sequence.
I think it's, as someone that has allergies and is a frequent sneezer, I appreciate the two bless yous.
I've never had allergies until I started working with the two of you. So thanks.
Allergic to greatness. That's what I heard.
Thank you, Mark. That was well said. I was going to say the paint thinner that was in the studio earlier.
I still can't figure out what that was.
We have not figured that out yet.
Still coming off that high.
What the hell was there?
Earlier in the week. Our Friday lineup is here. Greg Rakestraw at 8 o'clock. Our game tonight, the Battle of Lawrence Township. Ellen and LC. We'll have that at 7 o'clock. Bob Lovell with Indiana Sports Talk at 9:30. And voice of the Colts, Matt Taylor, will join us at 9 a.m. Good Friday morning to you. Bless you to Jake. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Dan Takich lays some knowledge.
I look at this schedule and I continue to see a minimum of 11 wins. I know I'm banking on certain things. I know I am. I'm banking on a statue at quarterback, young wide receivers. If this team is what this team is supposed to be, I see a minimum of 11 wins.
Dan Takich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You need a lawn care pro and a pest control pro. You can have both in one guy. You. DoMyOwn.com will help you get there with pro products, pro knowledge, and pro support. DoMyOwn.com for the pro in you.
Hey, it's Jake Query. The IndyCar Grand Prix of Portland is this Sunday. Green flag around 3:30, but coverage begins on the Fan at 3 p.m. Brought to you by the Speedrome and Circle City Raceway. Do you know a volunteer who deserves a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance? Tell us their story and nominate them. Click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
Discover downtown Indy with Indiana Sports Corp's annual Indy Ultimate, Saturday, September 10th, starting and finishing at Monument Circle. Experience the best of downtown's venues and landmarks with this 5-mile run-walk. This year's brand new route includes Carroll Stadium, the state capitol, and favorites like Lucas Oil Stadium and Victory Field. The Jim Irsay collection will be up in Lucas Oil Stadium with items used by some of the greatest artists in music history. Run with a friend or bring a group. Participants get an Adidas shirt, medal, and Indy 11 voucher to a future match. Register now at IndyUltimate.com.
There's more at Four Winds Casino South Bend. More games, more winning, more fun. The expanded gaming floor at Four Winds Casino South Bend is now open. 27 table games, 1,900 of the hottest slots, 16 live poker tables, and endless winning possibilities. And coming early 2023, Four Winds South Bend Hotel. Find your game at Four Winds Casino South Bend, your entertainment escape.
The Hoosier Hardwood Festival, September 9th through 11th at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Lebanon, featuring lumberjacks competing in 10 events, including speed cutting, axe throwing, and the perilous boom run. Witness over 20 of America's best chainsaw carving artists creating masterpieces. Shop buildings full of woodworkers, artists, and craftsmen. Bring the children to enjoy our kids zone, petting zoo, bird encounters, rock walls, and bounce houses. It's going down. Timber! September 9th through 11th. Full details and discount tickets at HoosierHardwoodFestival.com.
There's a lot of people out there that could really use some extra cash, but for whatever reason, they don't want to refinance. But think about this. How much is your home worth today? Now, how much do you owe? The difference is your equity. Now, what could you do with that extra cash? Pay off those high interest rate credit cards? Make home improvement projects a reality? Our average client received over $54,000 with a simple cash out refinance. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
The Morning Checkdown. Omaha! Brought to you by Ball State Football. Get your tickets at ballstatesports.com. Omaha! On 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
We'll begin with this. Ball State on the short end against Tennessee, 59-10 last night. Chirp, chirp for the Cardinals, who I think will bounce back.
Glad they got the guaranteed money, right?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I mean, that's what that's all about.
35.5 was the spread. The backyard brawl was terrific on ESPN. West Virginia and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh pulled that out late. And then for the Boilers last night, they could not close things out. Here was Jeff Brom afterwards on the 35-31 loss.
Our team did show a lot of fight and found a way to come back in the second half after we had a lapse there at the end of the first half. Took a lead. They got it back. Our defense stepped up and made another play to take the lead again. And then offensively, we weren't able to close out the game. And so that's disappointing.
I would say lapse is a compliment on how the first half ended.
Purdue now next on the schedule, and congratulations to Indiana State, who will be Purdue's next opponent. Sycamores winning in overtime over North Alabama, 17-14 last night after obviously what has been a difficult time for that football program with the car accident that fatally injured some of the Sycamore football players, and then just everything that went into that week. Kudos to Kurt Mallory and Indiana State for starting out the season 1-0.
Amen. That's awesome.
Elsewhere in the Big Ten, by the way, Minnesota 38-0 over New Mexico State.
Shifting gears to Major League Baseball, kind of a quiet Thursday on the diamond there. I don't think any of the local Midwest NL teams play. Tigers lose the Mariners 7-0. White Sox over the Royals 7-1. Guardians, they lost 3-0. Indianapolis Indians did.
Who'd they lose to?
Who did they lose
to? The Guardians? Who'd they lose to?
The Cute Fellas?
That is correct. Cute Fella, 3-0. Here come the Orioles.
But not Avon, right?
No. No, just the little cute fella on the hat. Hey, just root for me. Just want to win.
College football tomorrow, the big ones, and I'm trying to look up there, Mark. Which game do we have? Do we have Oregon, Georgia? Am I seeing that right at 3 o'clock? Yeah, that's right. Oregon is at Georgia. That is number 11 versus number 3. The big storyline in that one, Oregon's head coach Dan Lanning was Georgia's defensive coordinator last year. That is a 17-point spread in that one, and it's 17.5 in the Horseshoe on Saturday night. That would be Notre Dame and Ohio State. Ohio State, the heavy favorite there. Over under of 59 in that one.
Hammer that over. Listen, I don't think Notre Dame covers that, and I say that having zero to do with Notre Dame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have been all aboard Ohio State as is it fair to say you think they're kind of a generational team?
I think their offense is. I do. I mean, they're offensively speaking, I just don't see how anybody can hang with them. I mean, I think they could literally score. They're one of those teams that CJ Stroud, I don't know how many fourth quarter games he'll play.
Again, 3 Heisman finalists in the top 8 of the odds list.
It's just insane.
Absolutely insane.
Oh, come on.
Mark, what are we doing?
I was looking at, because I'm picking Oregon to beat Georgia. I used a free bet, and I was trying to see if that spread was still 17. It is.
I used my free bet on the Boilers last night. Money line. Well, and the spread wouldn't have worked either. They were 3.5, right? Vegas knows something.
Mm-hmm.
Jake, your Panthers hosting Warren Central tonight. LN at LC. Chittard and Roncalli. That's a big one there. Greenfield Central and Mount Vernon. Ben Davis at Pike. Great story by Kyle Nenrip on Pike's football coach earlier this week. Danville and Lebanon. And then we've got the T.Y. Hilton, Chris Ballard meetup, right?
That's right. You said they're going to meet over by the pine trees next to the concession stand, right?
Yep. Walkie Taco and Nerd Rope.
Chris Ballard's son and T.Y. Hilton's son squaring off on the football field.
Zionsville and Westfield. Did you ever have any Fun Dip back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they could share a Fun Dip stick.
Now, here was my problem with Fun Dip. The little sugar stick that you were supposed to dip it out with, I just ate that thing right off the box.
Yeah.
Then you had to just go with
Now, you got multiple ones, right? How many did you get?
Maybe 2.
Was it only 2?
I think it's, 2.
Boy, yeah, I definitely ate one right away.
You know the one baseball concession stand item, there are 2 that I'm curious if they still sell. One is Astro Pops. Did you guys have the Astro Pop?
I don't know what that
It's a hard candy,
no.
like pyramid on a stick, and it's like red, yellow, green. It's the multiple colors.
Yeah.
But I mean, you want to talk about like a choking hazard. And then the other was Big League Chew.
Oh, sure.
A Big League Chew is definitely
That's the
still
only
available.
reason I still go into Dick's Sporting Goods, because they have Big League Chew right there by the checkout.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah. So,
I throw half the bag in my cheek by the time I'm walking to my car.
Of course, and then by the time you get to the flavor's gone. But the fact that it simulates chewing tobacco made me wonder if they still sell it for kids.
Portland race this weekend, Jake. 2 to go in the IndyCar season.
That is correct. Portland, then the weekend after that. So next weekend, Laguna Seca, Monterey for the IndyCar Championship.
When we come back, I mentioned this yesterday. I would say an event that continues to positively impact the Colts and their grip on the AFC South entering this season. You obviously feel bad for Titans fans, but at the same time, this is a reality of where we're at in the NFL, and it is definitely news that plays into the Colts' favor. We'll explain that next year. Kevin and Query, 93.5, 107.5, The Fan.
Join me today. We're going to talk about Aiden O'Connell. We're going to talk about Purdue football. We're going to have Maytay. We're going to have KB, and we're going to have Hammer Time. Join me today. Bowling, bowling, bowling. Keep them balls a-rolling. Bowling, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin.
It's time to sign up for a league at any of the Royal Pin locations. They have leagues for beginners who just want to have fun and competitive leagues for longtime bowlers. All bowlers are welcome. Don't have a team? Don't worry. They'll match you up with a team. It's easy. Just sign up for a league at royalpin.com or stop into one of the centers. Plus, download the Open Lane app and become a rewards member. League bowlers get games for just $1.75 throughout the week, so don't wait to join.
Set 'em up. Knock them down, send them flying, spinning round.
For more information, call 465-8484 or visit royalpin.com.
Royal Pin, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin, bowling.
Hey, it's Jake Query. You just heard us talking about Purdue and Penn State last night. What does that mean? It means football season now officially upon us. And, of course, that means the NFL is upcoming. Correct. The wait is just about over in terms of waiting for that NFL season, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, wants to celebrate with you. That's right. DraftKings Sportsbook right now has an offer for new users. Place a $5 wager, just $5 on any game, and you get $200 in free bets instantly. That's correct. I said instantly, and I said $200. And if you want more action on opening night, everyone can experience, so even if you are an already existing user, you can experience still the early win promotion. Take any team. Just take any team off the top of your head, all right? So I can right now I heard it. I heard you. You're talking Arizona Cardinals. You bet on the Arizona Cardinals, no problem. Any point during the game they get up 7, instant money for you. You win right there, and it's deposited instantly. They don't even have to win the game. Just get up 7. That's the beauty of the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code 1075FAN to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any game. That's code 1075FAN. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. Indiana only. Bonus issued as free bets. One early win token issued at opt-in moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The ultimate end of summer party is coming. All In Music Festival Labor Day Weekend 2022, September 3rd and 4th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Featuring great music, great food and lifestyle with performances by Daryl Hall and John Oates, Cage the Elephant, John Fogerty, Portugal the Man, plus Lucinda Williams, Trampled by Turtles, The Four Tops, and many more. Multiple stages, multiple days. All In Music Festival Labor Day Weekend 2022. Get details and tickets now at allinfestival.com.
It's a fact. Only 0.0001% of people will ever step up to the plate as a pro baseball player. For the rest of us, there's BetRivers.com Sportsbook app. Featuring same-game parlays, you can combine different bets all from the same game. Totals? Bet 'em. Spreads? Bet 'em. Player props? It's a home run. Download the BetRivers.com Sportsbook app today. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hellsberg Diamonds presents The Guy Who Got It Right. Tim needed an engagement ring. He did research, listened to hints from his fiance's friends.
She wants a lab-grown, oval cut, and white gold with a halo.
And he went to Hellsberg Diamonds. At Hellsberg, Tim found an incredible selection of high-quality, lab-grown, and natural diamonds. He also found the ring she really wanted.
Nailed it. She is gonna freak.
Be like Tim. Find the ring of her dreams at a Hellsberg near you or at hellsberg.com. Ask now about special financing offers.
Mr. Crosley, your passion and enthusiasm for teaching history taught me valuable life lessons.
Like what, Carrie?
The importance of dedication, commitment, showing up every day. And those lessons helped me in the classroom and on the softball field. I'm Carrie Rosati, IHSAA Assistant Commissioner, and this is Pat Crosley, my mentor from Roncalli High School.
As an educator, I always care about the whole student, from their academic success to their character development to their athletic performance. That's why I love supporting students outside the classroom at athletic events.
It showed me you really cared about me as a person, not just as a student. Having devoted coaches and teachers like you taught me accountability and motivated me in both my schoolwork and athletics. I showed up every day because you did the same for me.
Thanks, Carrie. We can all support hardworking teachers and coaches by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is meaningful mentorship. This is life-changing leadership. This is your IHSAA.
Life's full of unexpected joys, like problems with water. That's why there's Michaelis, a crew of 24/7 experts who are rescue ready, day or night, one phone call, for a gazillion disasters. Over 3 decades of restoring your home or business to better than new condition. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
The 9th Annual Indy Labor Fest is September 3rd on Monument Circle. An admission-free street festival with live music, beer from Sun King Brewing, food trucks, a kids zone, and most importantly, a chance to learn about lifelong career opportunities. Hosted by the labor unions of Central Indiana.
I'm Dave Price, market representative and organizer for the Heat and Frost Insulators Local 18. Come celebrate organized labor's dedication and contributions throughout the Hoosier State. More information at indylaborfest.org. Union membership, community leadership.
You're listening to Kevin and Query on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Well, hello, Jake. This is September 3rd, so you know what I'm going to do today, don't you? Here I go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy 50th birthday, dear Jake. Happy birthday to you. Have a great day today, Jake, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
To sit here and listen to Karen sing happy birthday to Jake, and if that didn't do me in, I was reminded that I want to wish him a happy birthday, Jake, which I'm doing, but I was thinking about the fact that you're 50 years old, so I'm going to cut it short because I think I'll go lay down. Bye-bye.
So I should elaborate, and I appreciate that, Mark. My mom is a running kind of gag during all of our upbringing for my sister. My dad is a very good singer, and so my mom mocked herself as a terrible singer and intentionally sings off-pitch happy birthday to us every single year. That was, by the way, my parents. My birthday's tomorrow, but obviously we're not on the air tomorrow.
I thought that was beautiful.
Thank you to my mom and dad. Thank you to my mom and dad. And it is, a very surreal thing is when I remember very, very clearly I'm trying to think, it would have been, right after I graduated from high school, like 3 weeks after I graduated from high school, we put together a surprise videotape for my dad of people wishing my dad a happy 50th birthday. And I mean, that feels like yesterday to me, and I remember going around and getting people that my dad had worked with or family and friends to wish him a happy birthday back in the days of camcorders and, making this big surprise video for him. But I thought about that this morning. I'm like, man, and like he was 50 and he was an old guy, right? I mean, it was like, so I hope my dad's not mad about the fact that I'm a spry 50 and he was an old 50, right? It's all relative.
Thank you to the queries there for that. And Jake, if you're lucky, there might be a couple more of those throughout the show here on this Friday morning. Happy 50th birthday, a day early to Jake Query. And you got to tell the story, Jake, about, well, I guess I don't want to reveal too much, so I'll let you share whatever you want to share.
So before we get to the Colts, I will say this. My mom had asked me a while ago, what do you want for your birthday? And usually every year, I mean, listen, I've never, I don't have kids, right? So usually every year I go to dinner with my parents and, Shannon comes, obviously, that we go to dinner with my parents. And this year I told my mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to be 50. And so I don't want to plan anything. Like, you guys just tell me where we're going. I want you to figure out what you think I would enjoy and where we'd go to dinner and, whatever. And so I did think to myself, okay, maybe like they'll plan for 5 or 6 people to be there also, beyond just my parents and Shannon. I had no idea. So the Portland race is this weekend, and I thought long and hard about it, and I think I told you guys a couple of months ago, I'm like, you know what, I think I'm going to stay here for my 50th birthday. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Because I joked for years to people that I'd never see 50 because I would die of a heart attack. And so it does have meaning to me. It does. So I just said that's what I want to do. So Friday night, 1 week ago tonight, Shannon and I go to dinner. I'm not going to say where, but a place that I like. But it was a completely happenstance. We were in the area, and it's like, you know what? That's close. Let's just go there for dinner. And one of the servers at the restaurant, who's a great guy, I've known him since we were in high school and we worked together at O'Malley's, is friends with my cousin. And so I see him, and whenever I see him, it's like, hey, what's going on? And usually, you know how that is when you have somebody that you have one mutual friend with, and so you're like, hey, so have you talked to Bill lately, or whatever.
And so, that's my icebreaker, and I got no more after that.
Pretty much, right? No, I mean, so this guy, I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here, but so I'm walking to the restroom. We're sitting there, and I say to Shannon, I'm like, hey, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. So I'm walking to the restroom, and I see the guy that works at the restaurant. He goes, hey, Jake, what's up? I go, hey, what's up, brother? And I say, and he goes, oh, by the way, happy birthday. I said, oh, thanks. And then I stopped. I took like one step, and I thought, wait a minute. Like, I've mentioned on the air that it's my birthday Saturday, but like, there's no way this guy's up at 7:30 in the morning. I mean, you know what I mean?
I love your brain in many facets of life. You have one of the worst brains in the history of brains to pull off some sort of special event.
Now, why?
Because you're so damn curious. And like, you know, you I mean, you've said this several times. There's a bit of a, you feel like, where's the conspiracy, or where's the,
I'm a critical thinker.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I go, well, thanks. And then I said, well, wait a minute. How did you know it's my birthday? And he says, oh, your cousin told me they got like a huge party planned for you coming up on Saturday night at 6:30. It's going to be, and he spills everything. And I'm like, okay. So then, of course, I'm
sweating for Shannon right now.
So I'm like, do I say something or not? And I'm like, it's gonna be obvious that I know, and I don't want her to be disappointed. And so I talked to my buddy Mike Byron. I'm like, hey, listen, let me tell you what happened. And Byron literally goes, oh God, yeah, Jake, she's. So turns out that Shannon and Derek Schultz got together, apparently, like, at the turn of the year. I mean, like, for a long time, they've been putting this whole thing together. So I still don't know what's planned or who's going to be there. I do know that there is something that's going to take place tomorrow night, and I'm very, very appreciative of all of it.
Elijah jumping out of a cake.
Oh my God, that'd make his year.
If I was told correct. Sorry if I ruined that for you, Jake, but I believe
tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
Will he be wearing his IndyCar radio hat?
He would push a button just to.
I think he'll have the media guide with him in hand when he gets out of.
Commercial will fire said cake all of a sudden. But anyway, I do appreciate it.
Well, happy early birthday to you. And in all seriousness, with everything you've gone through, it is a very special one for you. So congrats on that. Did want to get into some Colts news yesterday. And Jake, I would say the question that, and again, the Shaquille Leonard news, I feel like falls in line with this. The question or the topic I hate talking about the most in the line of work that we do, injuries. I hate it. You know, when I would play video games when I was younger, I would turn off injuries. It just sucks. Like, you feel like it's out of your control. They can be flukish. Like,
you're
all
right.
this stuff.
No, you're totally right.
And I just absolutely hate it. Having said that, they are a part of the game, and it's reality. And, you know, when Andrew Luck was out with a shoulder injury, I don't think the rest of the AFC South was crying too much for the Indianapolis Colts. Well, yesterday, it was announced that the Titans' star pass rusher, Harold Landry, has torn his ACL. He is done for the season. Jake, and I want to word this probably a little bit more politically correct than I might have done in an initial tweet yesterday. But if you're talking about events of the offseason that have positively impacted the Colts winning the AFC South, and I know that sounds very like PR statement, but again, events that have been in favor of the Colts trying to win the division, somewhere near the top, potentially at the top of that list, I would put this news, and I would put A.J. Brown getting traded to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And again, I hate to say that, but it's just the reality of where you're at. The Colts' biggest injury so far this offseason is to their punter. The Titans' biggest injury is to a pass rusher that had 12 sacks last year, which was probably nearly double than any Colt player. And when you're playing the AFC West, and the Titans have a harder schedule than the Colts, a vaunted pass rush is huge. And when they lost Derrick Henry for 9 games last year, the presence of Landry and the presence of A.J. Brown were huge. And them going 6-3 in those 9 games, the fact that they don't have either of them adds to the confidence that I have about the Colts winning the division this year.
To me, Kevin, the Titans, to me, I think of, and I know Pittsburgh has been the staple of what I'm about to say, or the face of it, but I think of the Titans kind of in the same breath as the Baltimore Ravens, and by that I mean you always expect them to drop off, but yet it seems that whatever moves they make that seem curious turn out, you go, okay, they knew what they were doing, and they're still here. So they earn, I guess what I'm saying is, like, for example, the Brown move. Tennessee, I guess, has earned the benefit of the doubt of being able to do or execute things that are in the best interest of Tennessee. And they're, you know.
Gosh, that just seems a step too far for me. I understand where you're coming from, but that's a big loss.
But, and that's fair. It does appear as though the road is opening up clearly for Indianapolis in the South. No doubt about it. I mean, and again, the Colts may be a rung below a Kansas City or Buffalo, but if their division allows them to not only win the division but also to stockpile wins, they can. The scheduling and the division and the placement alone can put them right up into that rung, if that makes sense. Yeah. It does appear. And by the way, I know that you said Rigoberto Sanchez is the only injury of note. I get, during the course of taking place at camp, yes. I mean, Leonard obviously is a big one, but as you and I talked about, that is one that seems to be kind of water finding its level there, right?
I mean, back-to-back days for Shaquille Leonard practicing this week. Again, that is continued good news.
Now, is he at what level is he practicing?
So, I want to remind people, and I mentioned this kind of briefly yesterday, but Jake, we're in the kind of the 1 week of the year where we no longer watch practice for the entire time like we did during training camp, and we still are not yet to the regular season injury reports. That'll start next Wednesday when you get the, limited, full, or did not practice. Right now is this kind of like awkward post-training camp, pre-regular season where we don't get into that. I assume he's not practicing on a full-on basis.
That's what I mean.
But still, to go back-to-back days, that I didn't think that was a given. I'm curious about Matt Taylor's thoughts, and we have him on a little bit later on that front. But this Landry loss is huge. Absolutely huge.
I will admit, when I saw it, I thought to myself, is this the year now? I mean, typically the Colts, like everything around them.
That was literally my first thought went to Jim Irsay's comments Saturday in the booth with Greg Rakestraw, who we'll have on in less than 10 minutes, and Rick Venturi saying, thank God A.J. Brown is no longer in the AFC South. And I thought to myself, man, if you were going to rank the events, and again, this is unfortunate. I hate injuries. But if you're going to rank the events that have positively impacted the Colts trying to win the division, I would say this, Jake, in some order, 1, 2, and 3 on that list is the arrival of Matt Ryan, the trade of A.J. Brown, and this torn ACL to Harold Landry.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, listen, Kevin, sometimes in the NFL in particular, you need, and I hate to say luck to happen for you because you don't want to see injury. I mean, I get what you're saying about injuries. But you just need things to fall into your favor that you have nothing to do with.
Without question.
And if there's a team that's going to have that fall their way this year, why not Indianapolis, right? I mean, why not?
Fitch wants to know if you've got Venmo. He would like to buy you a birthday Yingling.
You know what? I'm not...
I don't know if you do.
Jake hasn't even signed up for the Pick'em League. You think he's got Venmo?
Yeah.
I'm in my 4th hour of trying to figure out how to register for health insurance online. Let's see here. I
think that'll come at age 60, maybe. Let's get through 50 first, and then
I'm turning
we'll do
50,
that.
not 27.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I do have Venmo. How do I know what my Venmo name is?
Oh, gosh, this is wild. You have a Kevin Bowen bot tweeted at Fitch with like my picture and everything in it. That's wild.
Jake,
do you see that Jake
query.
tagged you in it?
What's that?
There's a Kevin Bowen bot that tweeted at Fitch.
Really? That's kind of fun, right?
Is that you're not? That's not your account.
Should I read the URL?
Hold on.
It has my exact picture. and then the URL is.
Yeah, that might be something that the new IT guys can get on top of, right?
Scrub that, maybe.
6 followers for the Kevin Bowen bot here.
By the way, Jake.
So did they go?
Query is the Venmo apparently.
I think they went at KBowen 1070, but the zeros are O's with the bot.
That's impressive, though.
That's a lot of work on a Friday morning.
You think they just? Does it say that it just started today?
I would have to scroll.
I mean, you've
through
arrived.
The tweets, yeah. Do you think there's a Jake Query fake account?
No, absolutely not. Nobody wants to be me, right?
Steve, Marc is on the line.
Steve is on the line.
Steve, Jake's turning 50 tomorrow.
Jake, I just really want to say how much I'm happy that you made it to your 50th birthday, and that I've really enjoyed listening to you for nearly a third of your life, from WIBC to hanging out with the little guy and with your current partner.
Steve, I appreciate that. And that is, you know what, you're right, Steve. We've known each other a long time, right? I mean, you were one of the first listeners back in 2007 when I was downstairs on the ground floor, for that matter, both career and radio-wise. And you've been loyal, and you've been a good friend ever since, and I always enjoy seeing you out, so I appreciate it, man.
All right, Jake, and you have a great birthday, and I'll be celebrating mine on Sunday.
Oh, really? All right.
Nice. Happy birthday, Steve.
September 4th for Steve. I like that.
I love September birthdays.
Yeah, it's cool.
So mine's the 18th. My dad is the 22nd. I've got an uncle that was born the 21st. And I guess baby number 2 will fall into September as well.
Laura Lynch, her birthday today. Laura Lynch, who I grew up with, her birthday today.
You're terrific in remembering birthdays.
My Aunt Judy, birthday today. Late Aunt Judy, the great Aunt Judy, birthday today. So happy birthday to both.
Now, remind me again, where do you fall in the sibling?
I am the third of 3. My older sister, Juge, my sister, Megan, in the middle, and I'm the baby. So, like, by the time I came around, Kevin, you probably know this because you're the youngest too, right, of 2?
Yeah, youngest of 2.
Marc, you fall where?
Oldest of 3.
Yeah, see, so Marc had it rough. By the time I came around, my parents were like, "Did you burn anything down tonight?" Yeah, okay, great, go to bed.
Something bad would happen. Marc! I'm like, I'm down here. It went upstairs. What are you talking about?
Like, my parents were totally checked out, man. They were completely checked out.
I mean, I am freaking out at every little thing Rosie does, and Maddie's just like, you're not going to act like that with the second.
My parents, when I went away to college, my parents dropped me off 500 miles from home. They're like, "All right, see you Thanksgiving."
We're going to stop at Effingham on the way back.
That's exactly right. You'll be fine.
He is Jake Query. He turns 50 tomorrow, the big 5-0. Greg Rakestraw is going to join us next. Matt Taylor in the 9 o'clock hour. Good Friday morning to you. To Boiler fans, did not end well last night. The Hoosiers will get their season underway tonight. That is an 8 o'clock kick as they host Brett Bielema and the Fighting Illini. And for Notre Dame, it'll be Ohio State tomorrow night. I think that's 7:30 on ABC as the big one, number 2 versus number 5. 8 o'clock hour coming up here on Kevin and Corey.
Breaking camp. Questions to be asked.
The question is, are the Colts going to get another wide receiver, or are they not?
Cuts to be made.
Roster cuts for the Colts coming.
They really haven't given us a whole lot to go on.
A roster to finalize.
They're going to telegraph something with what they do in the next couple of days.
The Colts sequester themselves on West 56th Street until the season kicks off September 11th. Follow all the news, rumors, and innuendo on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
You need a lawn care pro and a pest control pro. You can have both in one guy. You. DoMyOwn.com will help you get there with pro products, pro knowledge, and pro support. DoMyOwn.com for the pro in you.
The Mower Shop in Fishers, featuring Spartan mowers. They have the perfect mower to fit any yard, any size, anytime. TheMowerShop.com and 317-849-9500.
Hey, it's Jake Query. The IndyCar Grand Prix of Portland is this Sunday. Green flag around 3:30, but coverage begins on the Fan at 3 p.m. Brought to you by the Speedrome and Circle City Raceway.
Making your money go further is more important than ever. So Diamonds Direct's bringing back our most popular offer of the year. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase. Now for a limited time, you get the amazing value Diamonds Direct is known for, and you can spread your payments over 5 years. 0 down, 0 interest. A $6,000 diamond ring is just $100 a month. Don't miss this extraordinary offer going on now. 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Details at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
Charlie says sell it to kick off tailgating season, so Payless Liquors has Mom Water and Game Day ready-to-drink 4-pack cocktails for only $8.99. Crown Royal 4-pack RTDs are $12.99, and Chi-Chi's 187-milliliter bottles just 99 cents. Plus 30 packs of Rolling Rock, Natural Light, and Busch Beer are only $17.99 at all 26 Payless Liquor stores. Additionally, Grey Goose 175s are $39.99, and 10 packs of assorted 99 liqueurs, $8.99, making tailgating easy at Payless Liquors. Don't pay more, get more, and pay less at Payless Liquors.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile and get unlimited data for only $29.99 per month each when you get 2 or more lines. You could save hundreds on your mobile bill. Plus, there are no added taxes, hidden fees, and no contracts. Try the Spectrum Mobile Savings Calculator today, and in 3 easy steps, you'll see how much you could save. Visit SpectrumMobile.com/save. Offer valid for new customers on 2 or more unlimited lines. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply. Visit SpectrumMobile.com for details.
Hey there, Jake Query. You know, DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NFL, and right now they have the way for you to get involved in terms of taking the best advantage of the return of the National Football League. You know, new users right now at DraftKings can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's correct. You bet $5 on a game, you get $200 in free bets instantly. And if you want more action on opening week of the NFL, everyone, you don't have to be a new user, anybody can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. If the team that you wager on gets up 7 at any point in the game, literally could take a opening kickoff, they take back set, bingo. You're up 7-0. You are automatically going to win right there. You get paid instantly, even if the team goes on to lose the game. All you've got to do for the first option that I'm talking about and getting that $200 in free bets, for example, is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code 1075FAN to get $200 in free bets instantly. Place a $5 bet on any game, you're going to get $200 in bets instantly. That's code 1075FAN. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, Indiana only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 early win token issued at opt-in, moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Investing in education-based athletics builds strong communities in a strong, successful Indiana.
That's because when we support education-based athletics, we're not only supporting Hoosier student athletes, we're championing the next generation of doctors, CEOs, and engineers, not to mention future teachers, first responders, and civil servants. I'm Brian Lewis.
And I'm Chris Kaufman. We're both assistant commissioners of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
High school sports are the training ground for our future community leaders, impact makers, and world changers.
When we invest in student athletes, we're teaching them the importance of serving others selflessly,
leading them to become engaged, compassionate citizens who pay it forward and continue building a positive future for Indiana and beyond.
Support the next generation of Hoosier difference makers by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events.
This is serving our community. This is strengthening our future. This is your IHSAA.
Take the next step in your construction career by becoming a union carpenter.
Some of the best pay in the industry.
Amazing health and retirement benefits.
Ongoing cutting-edge training.
Creating my own career path so I can do what I love.
High safety standards.
Great employment opportunities. Why will you join the Carpenters Union? Join the 75,000 men and women in Indiana who build our communities. For more information, visit the Construction Industry Partnership at indianacip.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Lawrence Central hosts Lawrence North on Friday Night Football. The action begins at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Jake, one of my fondest memories of you in your 50 years of existence was in 1984 when I graduated from high school, because you found a dollar bill on the floor of Market Square Arena that night, and you wrote on that dollar bill that you wanted me to have the dollar bill because it was a special night and you wanted me to remember that occasion, and you knew that 1984, which was the series date on that bill, would mean something to me. To me, that typifies exactly what I think of you as the man you've grown into being. When there is something that you feel would benefit someone else, you will give it up if in fact that other person will have a greater benefit. Love you, dude. Big sister Jude here.
You know, my sister, and that's very kind. It makes me feel terrible to correct her to say that was actually at the Indiana State Fairgrounds Coliseum and not Market Square Arena.
Gosh. Yeah, should I text her back? Jude, send that in for the 9 o'clock hour.
It was on
I would apologize for you, but I think you know your brother full well to know that
the 1984 was in the serial number, and I was so amazed by that. I found that, and I'm amazed she remembers that. But I remember it like it was yesterday because she's my older sister, and her milestones all were very special to me. So I appreciate that.
There was a very heartfelt message in there. Did you get that part of it?
It was the Coliseum. I will say that.
Gosh, to be fair, the Pacers arenas have gone under some, name changes,
right.
and I don't know, it could probably be a little bit chaotic. So thank you to Jude for that happy birthday message. As Jake turns 50 tomorrow, someone that works very closely with Jake is our next guest. He is Greg Rakestraw on the Payless Liquors hotline from ISC Sports. Rake, Jake is going to be 50 tomorrow.
Would you like me to offer a moving tribute to Jake as he celebrates his 50th birthday and talk about what type of person he is?
I was
Tell
hoping
if it's 100% accurate.
Yeah, don't make sure there's any factual errors in there. I was kind of hoping, Rake, and I don't know if you have any singing in your background, but your voice is so incredible. I was kind of hoping you would give us a tune.
I did used to sing in my background. In fact, and I'm sure Jake will find a way to find this tape at some point in time, my statewide television debut was as a singer in Governor Bai's Christmas special back in 1991. So yes, there is something to that. However, that was 31 years ago, a lot of pounds ago, and I woke up 5 minutes ago. So no one wants to hear me sing at this point in time in the morning.
Greg.
But when I think about Jake Query, I think of the type of person who would correct his sister after a loving tribute for his 50th birthday. That is what immediately comes to mind since that just happened. No, in all seriousness, happy birthday. And, we had the pregame birthday tributes on Query and Schultz this past week, and we'll have the postgame birthday tributes when we film the show for next week coming up on Tuesday. There's a lot of different memories and moments I could come up with. But one of the first things that comes to mind is like so many parents of kids on the north side of Indianapolis, my daughter Mia was lucky enough to have Jake's mom as one of her teachers at the Children's Corner Preschool.
That is correct.
And this would be 7-8 years ago at this point, remarkably, as Mia is now in the in the sixth grade. And I just happened to catch Jake, I think, on Twitter or perhaps on radio, mentioned that it was his mom and dad's 45th wedding anniversary that was coming up. And so I said, maybe it's even 50th at this point. And I said, hey, I told Mia to make sure, hey, when you see Mrs. Query, please tell her happy anniversary. And when Jake had found out about this, he immediately made it a point to go to Twitter and acknowledge Mia for saying happy anniversary, and thought how cool that was for someone at the age of 4 or 5 to make it a point to say happy anniversary. So a lot of different stories, a lot of different moments I could share, but I figured since we were doing This Is Your Life with Jake at 49 years and 364 days old, I thought that would be the most fitting thing that I could reference on the show this morning.
And I appreciate that, Greg. It's funny, last night we were doing, I mentioned earlier, we were doing the new employee boarding and whatnot and all the paperwork since the company has changed over ownership hands. And you were in there with me, which was fun. But I appreciated that when we were leaving, you were the one that had the foresight to say, hey, you need to wait until Monday for some of your benefit stuff because you get more money since you're 50.
Right, you took that. I was trying to gig you for turning 50. You took that as a nice gesture.
Absolutely. I'm like, hell yeah. No, I was like, hey, I'll ring me up, baby. Wait till Monday. Wait till actually Tuesday.
The thing that says you can put more money in your 401k like on a per year basis after you turn 50.
Correct.
I'm like, hey pal, make sure you wait. Don't sign up for that today. Wait till you come back to work on Tuesday.
You are correct.
It's a very Greg Rakestraw gesture. Rake is with us here on the Payless Liquors Hotline. Rake, before we get to week 3 of high school football, let's go back to last night. Everyone just wants to rip Jeff Brom to shreds for the end game, clock management, this and that. I understand what he's trying to do. Aiden O'Connell's your best player. You want the ball in his hands. If that ball's on target to CJ Sheffield, frankly, everybody's praising Brom for the aggressiveness and winning through the air there late. My bigger issue was the end of the first half. That was just like an utter collapse. The fumble and then the poor tackling. You gifted Penn State probably a 10-point swing there, and I don't care if you're on the road. You gift a quality football team 10 points, it's going to come back to bite you.
Yeah, and for me, it is, everything you said is accurate. It is just almost playing in the Purdue experience, where you simply wait for the banana peel.
Yeah.
Where your first thought is, after you turn the ball over, after the near miraculous completion to the tight end, after just underthrowing the open receiver, and you have to punt the ball away, like literally at the first gain, you just go, here we go. Because it is so ingrained in the Purdue fan experience that, yeah, you're going to have some great wins, but I wouldn't say that's a crippling loss. You just wait for disappointment. I was there, the Kyle Orton fumble game. I was there for Purdue and Wisconsin when game day was there, and thinking how monumental of an opportunity that was, and it goes away. And then the next week against Michigan, it goes away, and just kind of cascades downhill from there. I still think this team can have a really good season. I still think the schedule for them is very user-friendly. But on a national stage, it was disappointing for that game to end in the fashion which it did, and clearly that's a massive understatement.
Greg, the other side of things last night that I think kind of went overshadowed a little bit, but I know that you know of this program, and I think people know what they went through in terms of the heartache of the loss of students at Indiana State that included from the football program. And then, a lot of people wondered if they would even play their season opener, and getting an overtime win. I just thought it was, really kind of an emotional thing, and a great thing for Kurt Mallory to be able to rally his guys to focus in and, seemingly tribute their fallen teammates with the win last night.
Very well said. And there are certain people that are just perfect fits for a program. And Kurt Mallory is that guy at Indiana State, because he has made them competitive. It's always going to be a struggle at Indiana State because of how good the other programs are in that league. North Dakota State, South Dakota State, others, Northern Iowa, that are really good in the Missouri Valley Football Conference every year. And Indiana State has been competitive under Trent Miles and making the NCAA playoffs at the 1AA level, now FCS. Kurt has not gotten to that point, but they have been close. But from a facility standpoint, from a budget standpoint, Indiana State is frankly not close to several other teams in that league. And so the fact that the job that Kurt has done before anything that happened 2 weeks ago, let alone how he has acted over the course of the last, say, 10 to 12 days. If you know Kurt, it's not surprising that has been the case, but he is easily one of the people I root for the most in terms of local coaches. And so as the grieving process still continues over there, I'm so happy those young men and everybody associated with that program had a chance to celebrate last night.
Again, courtesy of ISC Sports Network, you heard him throughout the Colts preseason as well with the TV calls, and you'll hear him on the postgame show starting a week from Sunday. Greg Rakestraw is with us. Rake, I don't know if I would have said this on Monday, but the fact that Shaq Leonard just practiced back-to-back days, the fact that the Colts have practices Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week, if he goes in all 6 of those sessions, maybe he's not out there for 100% of the snaps a week from Sunday in Houston, but I can't think of how many times a player has gone 6 straight practices and then not played in that game. Am I overreacting to 2 days of work, or do you think there's a chance he plays in the opener?
No, I think there's a chance. I think there's absolutely a chance. Again, I think you couched it very well, and you have heard both Frank and Chris say, hey, we have to kind of ease him into this. And so a good way to do that would be, hey, let's put you in there for a limited number of snaps. You know, maybe he's playing on passing downs because obviously he's so good at reading a quarterback and making a big play from an interception standpoint. And maybe the Colts just literally say, we're not going to play on Sunday. We still want this thing to continue to heal. And the fact that he is saying, hey, it's the best he's felt in 3 years, or maybe even since his rookie year, you know, obviously kind of catches your attention as to what he has gone through, the last couple of seasons. But no, I thought it was possible the entire time that he would not start the season on PUP. He'd be on the active roster. I wasn't sure we would see him practicing twice this past week. And so let's see how he responds. If he's out there Monday, he's out there on Wednesday. I do think we'll see him in some capacity next Sunday.
Greg, what level, for those that are unfamiliar with it, and I know Kevin knows this too, but Greg Rakestraw is our guest, by the way, on the Payless Liquors guest line. Walk through for people, pardon the pun, what this week of practice looks like for an NFL team getting set in terms of the amount of time in pads, the amount of contact, the amount of days off, etc.
Are you talking about the week that just happened or the week coming up?
No, the week coming up.
Week coming up is the first normal week of the season, and every week of the season will replicate that. You'll probably do a little bit more this Monday just because there was no week than you normally would. You know, usually, and this is kind of alternated under Frank Reich, whether Monday's the day off or Tuesday's the day off. And we'll see how that plays out the week following. I believe it's going to be come in, watch film. There's no hitting. There's barely a walkthrough. Monday's a recovery day and a film day, but you do it with everybody in the building. If that's the case, then Tuesday is the universal day off, and the only guys that come in are the ones that are getting treatment. Then on Wednesday, it's game planning day. If you are ever going to wear the pads, which rarely happens at this point in a National Football League season, maybe it does early, in the week, it would be on Wednesday, and Wednesday is your heaviest day. Thursday looks very similar to Wednesday. If you're going to do any hitting whatsoever on Wednesday, you're not going to hit on Thursday. But it's fine tuning after Wednesday is install day. Wednesday and Thursday are your, meat and potatoes days from a practice standpoint. Friday is a walkthrough. Usually guys are out of there by Friday afternoon. That includes coaches as well after 3 or 4 long days to start the week. Saturday, again, it's just a walkthrough. It is minimal. And then Sunday, go play the football game, rinse and repeat about 16 more times after that. And that's what a normal week looks like in the National Football League. And when you talk to anybody that covers the NFL, plays in the NFL, coaches in the NFL, works around the NFL, they will refer to the routine as to, yep, this is what a Monday is like. Or you'll hear this on a short week. Hey, today's Monday. This is normally what Wednesday is, because it is. We're all such creatures of habit. It is such routine once the week gets started.
Rake, we've got the battle of, do they do the Battle of Fort Bend? Is that what they call it? Lawrence North and Lawrence Central tonight? That's the game we've got. At 7
It is the Battle of the Bell. That's the game I've got as well.
Nice.
So with me and Jim Leach in the same press box, that's a lot of loud coming from that press box.
Yeah, I will pray for people in that press box trying to keep stats during that game. LN and LC tonight at 7 o'clock. I saw that my Irish went down to Brownsburg last week, and I feel like from an athletic department standpoint, Rake, a lot of people talk about like the rise that Westfield has made lately, or like Mount Vernon has made. I feel like Brownsburg is about to be, this is, maybe a bit hyperbole by me. They're like the new Carmel, I feel like, from an athletic program standpoint.
Drew Towers has done a heck of a job. That place, they've invested in facilities. There's obviously population growth that has happened out there as well. From a football standpoint, they're just waiting to make that first deep run. Last year it was winning the sectional for the first time since 2009, and I had that game, and they just thumped Carmel in that game. but then kind of turned around and it went the other direction. And when they lost to Ben Davis and were trailing 31-0 at one point in time. John Hart has now won 52 games in 6 years and 2 weeks. And John, if you include his days in both Illinois and Indiana, has won over 300 football games. His winning percentage is north of 80% strictly in games in Indiana. And he's won state titles at both Wrights as well as Warren Central. So for them, it's just a matter of, can you have that breakthrough moment in the postseason? You know, this year their sectional is them, Avon, Ben Davis, and Pike. And so it's going to be between them and Ben Davis. Then once they got the regional round, again, good chance Cathedral is waiting, or one of LC or LN. If you can do that and get to the semi-state, now you're looking at Center Grove or Warren. To get to the state championship, you're probably looking at Carmel or Westfield that would then be waiting on you in the championship games. In other words, all familiar names and faces, and you know, with the exception of Warren Central or Center Grove, teams that you have seen during the course of the regular season. So they have an opportunity this year. Center Grove has been very impressive in their first 2 weeks, but again, this is not Center Grove of last year, where Center Grove was 15 to 25 or more points better than you are. Their team is kind of winning on spirit and guts and know-how and knowledge, not overwhelming you with athletic ability. So 6A is still very much wide open, but, you know, again, only Center Grove would have the same pair of wins that are as impressive as Brownsburg to start the year.
North Central, Shelbyville, both shocking the world tonight. Shortridge as well. North Central has Warren, I think.
Yeah. And Shelbyville won the shootout, right, last week?
I hope Shelbyville doesn't play Shortridge. That would be a conflict of interest for me in both.
You'd go split
world.
jersey. You'd go Colt Bronco split jersey.
I would. I would indeed.
Given the struggles that those two programs have had recently, I actually hope Shelbyville and Shortridge would play each other. Probably for a nice competitive game.
Come on now. Greg with the subtle dig. Come on, Greg.
Or just an accurate description. He's just giving us a nice, great analysis.
Listen, I
from
believe
Greg
in the
Rakestraw.
Golden Bears, and I believe in the hard work of the kids that the Blue Devils are putting in. So there we go.
I am all for those kids being successful. Good luck to both of them. Same with your North Central Panthers.
Hail our Panthers.
Rake, enjoy it tonight. LN and LC on ISC Sports Network.
And once again, Jake, happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.
Greg Rakestraw right there on the Payless Liquors hotline. So no Friday night football leading into your 50th birthday? You won't be running out of the tunnel?
Oh, I'm standing on the sideline with my jersey on. Put on my black Adidas high tops like I wore senior year at North Central, my pegged black jeans. I'm ready to go, man. Adam Alexander and I even painted our faces once for a game.
That's awesome.
We were all in, man.
I love that.
We were all in.
You know, last night, late in the Purdue game, they had a great shot of some kid in the student section just Bon Jovi giving his heart to Living on a Prayer. I mean, he was perfect. On beat, in sync, very reminiscent of your mom singing Happy Birthday earlier. Right. Tremendous. And unfortunately, I don't know if he might have been doing the puking behind Where Else or Harry's Chocolate Shop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he probably went to Harry's, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the kid on the pick six. I know no one will probably remember much of that. That was a great pick six. How many times do you see guys like intercept the ball and just like run into one of their own blockers, or one of their own guys like has a 15-yard penalty on that? That was a long return. He was patient. His fellow defensive teammates did a nice job blocking. That was beautiful.
No, that was, and you know, let me ask you one other thing about that game last night. Was it me, perhaps, or was Gus Johnson like kind of tame?
I was going to ask you that because we know you and Gus don't. We won't have Gus do a happy birthday for you, I think, on today's show.
Somebody asked me, they're like, "Why do you hate him?" I'm like, "I don't hate him. I've never met him."
Did you hear his reaction to Penn State's first touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, it was like it almost made me wonder.
I thought he had the mortgage on Purdue.
It almost made me wonder if they didn't tell him to like tone it down.
Now he was back to Gus in the fourth quarter, which
but that's okay though. That was my whole.
So.
That was my whole point.
Fourth quarter,
right?
Close game. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. He was right on par. And I don't really.
Game and a steal. Clark, bam.
That's pretty tame.
I thought the first quarter though, that touchdown to Penn State. I'm like, did his mic turn off? Is he like Jake at 7:01 in the morning? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, the first one in particular. As a matter of fact, somebody tweeted out, didn't they? And they're like, this is the most like lame he's ever sounded in his life.
Gosh, I thought someone had run over his dog on that first touchdown.
I don't know about that. That seems harsh. I'd be a little upset with that, right?
Well, yeah, that's how he sounded, is what I'm saying.
Just kidding.
I like that Charlie Jones. He had a big night for the Boilers. He's going to be a really good player.
I was surprised Penn State's not like. I went last night. I was not available to see the first part of the game. I was doing some work, and so I thought, well, I'll check the score. And I went to a website, and I couldn't find the score anywhere. And I'm like, how am I not seeing the score? And then it dawned on me, I was looking in top 25.
Yeah, Penn State's not ranked. Aren't they like right there
ranked
in receiving votes?
They have to be. It's Penn State, right? I mean, I thought for sure Penn State was ranked.
Boy, he's a good player. And if I do have an issue with Purdue late, I'm like, are you really going to throw at Joey Porter's kid one more time? He was really good.
Yeah,
he's kind of a lockdown corner.
He had a really big game.
Yeah,
Penn State received 160 votes for the top 25, but didn't crack it.
I think it was them and Iowa, right? That were like the first two that just missed out.
For Big Ten teams, it says Tennessee, Texas, Iowa, Penn State.
Yeah, for the Big Ten team, because that was it. Because Purdue's schedule had only one ranked team, and that being the Badgers. Again, I said this earlier, and I agree with what Rake said. Last night is obviously a bummer. But don't you think Purdue will have the best quarterback on the field in every game the rest of the season?
You would think. And not only that, their schedule's pretty favorable. But, man, it's the what could have been.
Yeah, that would have positioned you so well for late October.
It's just the what could have been. Like, man,
yeah,
you get past that first hurdle.
Had a lead late. Shape. Because you know that Iowa and Wisconsin are going to lose their crossover game at Ohio State. Purdue would have the advantage there with that crossover game. All right, Matt Taylor's going to join us at the top of the hour. Let's do a morning checkdown.
The Morning Checkdown. Omaha! Brought to you by Ball State Football. Get your tickets at ballstatesports.com. Omaha! On 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, we'll step aside from the football for a second to tell you about baseball yesterday. Mets over the Dodgers 5-3. It was Atlanta over Colorado 3-0. Cute fella. That's the Baltimore Orioles defeated Cleveland 3-0. It was Chicago, the White Sox over Kansas City 7-1. The Indianapolis Indians 3-2 winners over the Louisville Bats.
All right, college football tomorrow. Well, I should say tonight. Indiana, Illinois. The last I saw was a 3-point favorite for the Hoosiers. Is that still?
I thought I saw 3.5, but yeah.
Over under of 43.5. Don't know if that shifted a lot. I believe FS1 there for your TV coverage tonight. Tomorrow's slate, the ranked games, the games involving multiple ranked teams. Oregon and Georgia, we'll have coverage right here on the Fan. Georgia favored by 17 in that matchup. Cincinnati at Arkansas. Good on the SEC for scheduling Cincinnati. Good on Arkansas for doing that. And then the nightcap, Notre Dame and Ohio State. That is from the Horseshoe. Jake, your Tigers play on Monday night, right?
Monday night against Georgia Tech, right?
I love their fight song, Georgia Tech.
So Illinois, Indiana's updated. Indiana's now just a 1.5-point favorite.
Really?
Wow.
45.5 over under. Minus 115 on the money line. Illinois minus 102.
Typically,
so money is shifting.
A lot of money on the Fighting Bielemas.
Mm-hmm. Illinois and Indiana typically is kind of like a Purdue-Minnesota game where it's just like, this game's drunk, you know?
Yeah, right. And you just
they got the same stadium names. They got the same initials. What the hell's going on here?
You always put on the Big Ten Network alternate. I'm like, wait, do I get that channel?
That's right.
And someone did want us to mention, and we've mentioned it a couple times already, Jake, but shout out to Indiana State. Everything they've been through. Overtime victory over Northern Alabama.
17-14 last night. Good for the Trees.
High school football week 3. Some rundown on games. Beech Grove at Speedway. Greenfield Central at Mount Vernon. Mooresville and Plainfield. Shelbyville and Delta. So there's Shelbyville. Right there, Jake,
where is that game?
It looks like it's at Delta,
Road
if I have
trip.
this right.
Let's go.
And if I have the Shortridge game right, they're playing Purdue Polytechnic.
That's right. That's right.
They have a football team?
They do. They're the Boilermakers.
I saw that some high schools around the state are doing the 8-man football.
Ritter, I couldn't believe this. Ritter had to cancel their game because they couldn't get their kids.
Me.
And I'm like, Ritter's been a strong football school.
Ritter's won a state title probably in the last,
right?
I don't know, 10 to 15 years.
Telling you,
maybe.
Kevin, we're going to see there's more and more kids. They're playing soccer, and their parents don't want them playing football. I mean, it's really that simple, right?
Gosh, yeah, I hated seeing that.
I agree with you.
Our coverage of the Portland race, IndyCar-wise, will be 3 o'clock on Sunday. If I remember correctly, Jake, this is a chaotic turn 1 at the Portland race.
100% correct. Probably the tightest turn 1 in the series. First year we went back there, Marco Andretti got airborne. It kind of goes into an immediate, not a chicane, but like a little bus stop, if you will, and it is tight. It's a flat racetrack, but it's a fun track. Actually, if you really, Vanport is the area, so Portland International Raceway is right off of downtown, but Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon, during the New Deal after the war, when they wanted to take advantage of the timber industry, they built a housing division and combined the 2 city tax dollars between Vancouver, Washington, and Portland, Oregon. And the area where that was, the housing area, was called Vanport. And then they had a levee break and a dam that flooded it all out. And so they got the people out, but the area became like marshland. They tore the buildings down and eventually built the racetrack.
Wow. Did you follow all that, Mark? I think I followed all of that.
You can see the foundation of the buildings from the aerial views. If you're watching the race and they show the aerial views, you will see the foundations of the old buildings around the racetrack.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We'll power up 3 points.
That was more than what you bargained for without including now, wasn't it?
Boy, this could go until 10 o'clock. We'll power up 3 points on Joseph Newgarden, up 14 on Scott Dixon, 17 on Marcus Erickson with 2 races to go. All right, we come back, a little Purdue conversation, a little Colts conversation. Matt Taylor going to join us at the top of the hour. Kevin and Query on a gorgeous Friday morning here in Indy.
The 9th Annual Indy Labor Fest is September 3rd on Monument Circle, an admission-free street festival with a chance to learn about career opportunities, hosted by the labor unions of Central Indiana.
Volunteers make Indy a better place to live. If you know one who relies on their car, they can get a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Nominate them at JiffyLubeIndiana.com. Hey, it's Jake Query. The IndyCar Grand Prix of Portland is this Sunday. Green flag around 3:30, but coverage begins on the Fan at 3 p.m. Brought to you by the Speedrome and Circle City Raceway.
Baseball is here, and so is the BetRivers.com sportsbook app, featuring same-game parlays where you can combine the excitement of different bets, all from the same game. Bet the total, spreads, player props, and more. Plus, with award-winning customer service, BetRivers.com sportsbook app, here comes a baseball joke, is a home run. Download the BetRivers.com sportsbook app today. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Charlie Says Sell It to kick off tailgating season, so Payless Liquors has Mom Water and Game Day ready-to-drink 4-pack cocktails for only $8.99. Crown Royal 4-pack RTDs are $12.99, and Chi-Chi's 187-milliliter bottles just 99 cents. Plus 30 packs of Rolling Rock, Natural Light, and Busch Beer are only $17.99 at all 26 Payless Liquor stores. Additionally, Grey Goose 175s are $39.99, and 10 packs of assorted 99 liqueurs, $8.99, making tailgating easy at Payless Liquors. Don't pay more, get more, and pay less at Payless Liquors.
The ultimate end of summer party is coming. All In Music Festival Labor Day Weekend 2022, September 3rd and 4th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Featuring great music, great food, and lifestyle with performances by Daryl Hall and John Oates, Cage the Elephant, John Fogerty, Portugal the Man, plus Lucinda Williams, Trampled by Turtles, The Four Tops, and many more. Multiple stages, multiple days. All In Music Festival Labor Day Weekend 2022. Get details and tickets now at allinfestival.com.
Making your money go further is more important than ever. So Diamonds Direct's bringing back our most popular offer of the year. 5 years, zero interest financing on any purchase. Now for a limited time, you get the amazing value Diamonds Direct is known for, and you can spread your payments over 5 years. Zero down, zero interest. A $6,000 diamond ring is just $100 a month. Don't miss this extraordinary offer going on now. 5 years, zero interest financing on anything and everything at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Details at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
There's more at Four Winds Casino South Bend. More games, more winning, more fun. The expanded gaming floor at Four Winds Casino South Bend is now open. 27 table games, 1,900 of the hottest slots, 16 live poker tables, and endless winning possibilities. And coming early 2023, Four Winds South Bend Hotel. Find your game at Four Winds Casino South Bend, your entertainment escape.
Last year, they met in the sectional championship game. One team advanced, the other went home. Now it's a rematch as Lawrence Central tries to avenge their loss to Lawrence North. It's the battle of two powerhouse Mid-Conference rivals. Who'll be the king of Lawrence Township? It's Friday Night Lights presented by CarX. Don't worry, call the CarX team. Eddie Garrison has the kickoff tonight at 7 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Jake, this is Mike Byron. Happy 50th birthday, big fella. I've known Jake since 4th grade. We were on the same basketball team together, and then we became good friends in high school. We remained close friends in college and beyond, and of course each year we are road trip buddies on our annual Kevin Turhan Donner Memorial Road Trip. But Jake, I'm very pleased to call you my good friend and to see that you've reached 50 years of age. For those that are counting, that's 50 years physically, and he's about 13 years old mentally. And I know you well enough, Jake, to say that I'm sure your co-host Kevin and also Mark Dykton, I'm sure they will agree with me that Jake loves him some Jake. So soak it up and enjoy the adulation and attention, as I know you will. You certainly earned it. So happy birthday, my man, from me and from everyone in my entire family. Have a good one, buddy.
You know, Byron mentioned there our friend Kevin Turhan Donner, and I think, and I'm sure this happens to everybody as you progress through, but Byron's one of those guys in my group from growing up that I've probably the biggest treasure in my life is just the fact that I've been surrounded by so many great people. But Turhan passed away. He was an oncologist and went to Vanderbilt and is the smartest guy I knew, and he passed away a handful of years ago, and I think that emphasizes that I realize, and I'm not 50 yet, just so Byron knows. I mean, it's not till tomorrow, so Mark, we still got a little ways to go here. Who knows what can happen in the next, however, that'll be.
The hell is Kevin at, by the way? Kevin has left the building.
He got tired of hearing about me, but Mike's right. I do love me some me, but I love more so all the people in my life, including Byron and Turhan. And I think when we lost Turhan is when it emphasized to me just the treasure of the fact that it makes me no better and no more deserving than anybody else. But I certainly know that there are other people that did not make it to 50, and I damn near didn't.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it is, it's pretty crazy.
Might have a few more surprises before the show gets off the air. So
including
hang in there, buddy.
Finding Kevin.
Yeah, we're about to put out an alert for him, I think. Silver alert at this point?
I think the silver would be me, right?
Well, I don't know. Some people are saying that Kevin had some gray hair the other day. Well, maybe. Well, we'll see. I guess we'll track him down. Maybe he got locked in the elevator like you usually do.
I have gotten locked in the elevator here a few times. But
I've never gotten locked. I've been here 8 years, never gotten locked in the elevator ever.
Have you ever been stuck in an elevator like when it's like in motion?
No, never stuck in an elevator except when I was a kid one time at a doctor's office. That was it.
I got stuck in an elevator in New York City. I think we were on, but we were in there for, my buddy Doug Weiler and I were, and we were stuck for, and this was pre-cell phone days, right? Mm-hmm. So we were stuck in it for probably, it might have been an hour. About the point where you're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like the laughter's gone.
Which corner's yours?
Yeah. So then the way they got us out was they opened the floor above it because we were in between the two. Mm-hmm. So they eventually they hopped down and they were able to open the roof, and we had to climb out of it and then basically jump our way in to the floor. They opened the doors up and jump our way in. It was interesting.
You feel like John McClane?
A little bit, yes.
No, we go through the duct now, too. Yeah, I was stuck in an elevator one time at a doctor's office when I was like 6 years old because my brothers and I were pushing buttons left and right. We just got stuck in between the first and second floor. So, sorry, Mark. Oh boy, look at this.
I was wondering if
I have dropped the candles now several times.
I wondered if Kevin.
I think there's wax.
I honestly wondered if your wife went into labor. that was my thought.
Here's our is the happy birthday music playing, Mark?
Oh,
no.
Nice.
No, I don't have a birthday.
They got the Cars cake and everything.
I mean, we can if we want to subject people to torture.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Show that cake to the YouTube audience.
I do need to.
Happy birthday, dear Jake. Happy birthday to you.
Like, this is a solid cake here, right?
Now, do you see the wax? The 5 has fallen off the cake 3 times on my walk up from the 5th floor to the 6th floor. I have wax on my wrist.
I also noticed that you went with just the 50 candles instead of actually 50 candles.
Yeah, I went
well,
with
that
the
would be a
50.
fire hazard.
Oh, I didn't get it in one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I made 2 wishes, I guess.
The candles are blown out by Jake Query. I was thinking, boy, new ownership sees me walking around with a lighter and candles.
This guy's trying
impressive.
to get the insurance.
Were you guys able to write this off?
So, well, no, we were not able. We haven't cleared that with new ownership yet.
The 5 just fell again.
I'm telling you, the 5, it's tough to.
Is that a bad
stay
symbol
in there?
that the 5 keeps falling off?
So
I told you I haven't made it yet.
Good news, it literally fell on the steps and the carpet and no flames.
Okay.
So we're good
and
on
then
that
you put it
front.
back on the cake, right?
Yes, I did put it back on said cake. Now, Jake, I felt like you are a big fan of Taylor's Bakery. So cake.
I love Taylor's
courtesy
Bakery,
of Taylor's Bakery. And, I thought, you got to decorate the cake a little bit. So I believe that's in the kids section of race cars. And I thought, you know what, Jake, racing obviously means a lot to him. And look at him. Now he can play with the race cars.
He's got a toy.
Now this one's got a little wax on it.
Can you show the YouTube audience your new red and yellow cars?
I mean, this is outstanding here,
Look at
right?
that.
This is fabulous.
So
Taylor's
happy birthday, Jake.
Thank you. Taylor's Bakery at 62nd and Allisonville has done so many things for my family over the years. In terms of, they are as much a tradition for Query get-togethers as dropping candles. You know what I mean?
Mark, I apologize for being late.
I was like, where the hell are you? I'm trying to stall as best I can. Talking about stuck
here's
in
what
elevators.
I overheard Kevin say there's a padlock or something along those lines, and then he disappeared. And I'm like, somebody's breaking into his house. Like, what's going on? They've got to send in somebody for his wife.
We're getting a new roof today, so we have a little gate like that backs up to our alley. I was like, yeah, you gotta get through that. But no, I went down to the 5th floor and just totally spaced. And like, if I light the cake down there, light the candles down there, they're probably gonna blow out as I walk up the steps.
You really overthought this.
No, I probably underthought it.
Now, what's this on the side here? This little.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Do we know what the? It's like a little squat. No, it's supposed to be some
I think
sort
it's
of
smoke
decor.
from the back of the car,
Yeah,
right?
it's smoke from the car.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Nice. I kind of want to dive into this.
I was going to say, we got to cut that open, right?
Oh, yeah. We got to have it by the end of the show.
I didn't eat breakfast for a
Especially
reason.
when it's Taylor's, man.
Right.
Like, Taylor's is the deal.
So I missed the Mike Byron audio?
Yes.
Byron said that I love me some me.
Behind some sweet child of mine, which Jake very much enjoyed.
Guns N' Roses, greatest band ever assembled. Greatest band ever assembled. We were talking earlier about it last night. Listen, for Purdue last night, the candle was lit, then it went out, then it was lit, then it went out, and then it fell over, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much
did
what
you
it was.
think when they got the stop after the pick six, took the lead, and then they get the stop with like 2.5 minutes to go, you're thinking all they need is a first down, right?
Well, I went back and looked at that final drive, Jake. So they take over with 4:28. Okay? They get into a 3rd and 9 right off the bat, and that was the O'Connell to Charlie Jones, who was outstanding all night long, for a first down. So boom, you're nearing midfield. The first down, then King DeRoe, who I like, he runs for 4 yards. At that point, Jake, it's a 2nd and 6.
He did miss a key block late, by the way, but yes.
That's probably the one play that you look at and say, do you run it again there? 2nd and 6, and for those that forget, that was the crazy O'Connell keeps the play alive, chucks it up to Payne Durham. They call it a catch on the field. Boy, I thought it was really close. They ended up overturning that. And then 3rd and 6 was when O'Connell underthrew Sheffield. I I think the bigger issues are this. First off, you're not a very good running team. You were the worst running team in college football last year. So I understand not wanting to. You want to play to your strengths in those situations. That's not your strength. Secondly, I point to the end of the first half as the bigger issue. I understand what Braun was doing. I know when you're as aggressive as he is, that's obviously a big deal. And I thought their punter had a really good night and then had an unfortunate touchback right there. And it just seemed like everything snowballed and Clifford had a really easy drive.
Yeah, the running thing, you guys, yesterday when you guys were gone, I mentioned this earlier, I had Rob Blackman on, and I asked Rob Blackman, I just said flat out, I go, can they run the football? And he said, well, that's obviously the $1 million question, and we're going to find that out. I mean, and listen, it's not that they can't run the football, but when they needed to, could they run the football? When everyone in the stadium knows they've got to run the football, can they run the football? You know what I mean?
In the reverse of it, Jake, it was New England and Indianapolis last year. Everyone in the stadium knows that the Colts are going to run the football. They load the box. Everybody last night probably knew Purdue was going to throw it, and that is still their strength. And, they were 3 or 4 yards per carry last night. It's not like they were horrific running it, but I am okay with O'Connell. I thought they threw at Joey Porter's kid way too much, and then I also felt like I felt like maybe some higher percentage throws there on kind of that final drive to maybe the combination of you're still trying to move the ball through the air, but you're also running a little bit of clock.
I love that you just call him Joey Porter's kid.
Was it Joey Porter Jr.?
Yeah, that's right. Good player. Really good player.
Gosh, he was really good.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
All right, Matt Taylor's going to join us here in about 15 minutes. Kevin and Query, happy birthday to Jake.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. Planning a trip to Vegas? You can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Helzberg Diamonds presents the guy who found the perfect ring. Jake needed an engagement ring, so he did his research, asked his fiance's best friends for advice.
She wants emerald cut. Definitely.
And he went to Helzberg Diamonds. Jake knew that Helzberg's been in business for over 100 years. That means quality. And with their price match guarantee, he'd get a great deal. And she'd get the ring she's always wanted.
Way to go, Jake.
So be like Jake. Find the ring of her dreams at a Helzberg Diamonds near you or at Helzberg.com.
Hey there, Jake Query for the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Did you know DraftKings is an official sports betting partner of the NFL? That is correct, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. And to celebrate the return of the football season, DraftKings wants to give you $200 in free bets instantly. That is correct. All you have to do, go into the DraftKings Sportsbook app, download it, and as a new user, bet just $5 on any game, and you're going to get $200 in free bets instantly. Seems too good to be true, doesn't it? I'm telling you right now, it is true. That's exactly what they're going to do. And how about their early win promotion? You get up 7. You bet on any team in the NFL in week 1, and if they get up 7 at any point in the game, they get a 7-point lead, you win instantly. Money directly, instantly into your account. That's what you get from the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Here's what you need to do. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code 1075FAN. That's 1075FAN. You get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code 1075FAN only at DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, Indiana only. Bonus issued as free bets. 1 early win token issued at opt-in. Moneyline bets only. Deposit and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hopefully, you'll never have a house or business fire. But if you do, hopefully, you'll never forget this name, Michaelis. They can be there before that lump in your throat goes away. In fact, they're the reason it goes away. Over 35 years of helping people recover from faulty wiring, lightning strikes, or that unattended pot of pasta on the stove. Michaelis crews often roll in before the fire hoses are rolled up. Their proven process of water extraction, smoke removal, and content storage will calm your nerves. Then their talented craftsmen will rebuild your home and restore your spirits. That starts by being your advocate with the insurance company. You'll find Michaelis doesn't just feel for you, they work for you. Water, storms, fire, and foundations. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Call 844-FIX-INDY. Make it Michaelis.
Indianapolis. At Geico, our employees' careers matter to us.
Well, my finances matter to me.
Great news, Carol. Geico offers a competitive salary that grows with your career because that matters to us, too. Your hopes and dreams matter. Even little things like the perfect office chair height matter.
Oh, that 100% matters. Oh, yeah. Nailed it.
When it comes to your career, what matters to you matters to Geico. We're now hiring claims and customer service agents. Apply today at careers.geico.com/Indianapolis and let's get growing.
Oregon faces defending national champion Georgia in college football action. Tomorrow at 3 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Happy birthday, Jake. I guess now that you're 50, I should stop referring to you as my baby brother. But I kind of like doing it, so I'm going to keep doing that. Anyway, it seems like just last week that I would be standing at my locker at North Central and I would know that you were about to come around the corner because I could smell your cologne 20 feet ahead of you. So that just seems like yesterday, but it was a long time ago. Happy birthday today. Can't wait to celebrate with you. Have a great one.
Happy 50th birthday, Uncle Jake. You don't look a day over 49. Don't worry, you're still younger than our mom.
Now you can start giving all our senior citizen discounts.
Happy birthday!
So that was my sister Megan. She's right. I had Calvin Klein obsession.
I love that one.
And I used to wear it like it was aftershave. Like I thought it was aftershave when I was a freshman. She was a senior at North Central, and she'd be like, "Oh my!"
Go back to the freshman hallway.
Totally. And then that was actually my nephew Charlie and my nieces Zoe and Lucy. But Megan is right, and Charlie, or they were right. I'm still actually younger than Megan, so that's cool. She does say my baby brother, and I'm like, seriously? Like, come on.
I think this will not surprise our next guest one bit. Jake yelling at his computer during the break with technology issues, and Jake correcting his sister on a technicality on a story when she was trying to be heartfelt and wish Jake a happy birthday and give him a compliment, and Jake said, well, sorry, Juge, it was not Banker's Life or Conseco. It was actually the State Fairgrounds.
Yeah, it was the Coliseum.
Our next guest is the one and only and great friend of Jake. He is Derek Schultz. Derek, I'm sure none of that surprises you. Even on Jake's birthday, he can't just take a compliment.
No, and, I hesitated whether to accept to do this from your invite, Kevin, because once Jake took this job, I stopped being kind of contractually obligated for Jake to be my problem. You know what I mean? So I did want to do this because it's his, whatever it is, 60th, 55th, whatever birthday for him. But this is like not my problem anymore. It's your problem now. So hopefully you're able to deal with it better than I did.
Yeah, Derek and I actually went to we went to the court, about a year ago, and he kind of passed off all obligations to me, and we put that in writing. Does it shock you at all that now Jake is ready to celebrate birthdays because it's 50?
Yeah, it's funny because he used to bust my chops all the time because I'm not sure how many people know, but I'm a triplet and had some extenuating circumstances. I'm not going to waste a ton of your time talking about this story. You can look it up in some newspaper articles from 1983 in Southern Connecticut. But I was born, 10 weeks premature and all of that. I was called a miracle baby. That's not a title that was put that I came up with. That was what the journalists and media attention kind of came up with. And he would make fun of that all the time. Why are you celebrating your birthday all the time? And I'm like, I'm lucky to be here. Now it's his 50th. And he's like, You remember that show Sweet 16 on MTV? He's
Sure.
like the girls from that show where he wants a Ferrari cake and, he's flipping over tables. And I'm like, I've never seen him like this.
Yeah.
I was
That's
thinking
me.
today, Mark and I were laughing yesterday during the onboarding. Jake wasn't in there because this letter, the alphabet, comes later. And I was saying to Mark, I'm like, let's go through the first half hour of the show and not mention his birthday one time. And I would just love to be inside of him and just imagine, oh my gosh, what is Jake thinking right now that we have not acknowledged his 50th birthday at all once here in the first 30 minutes of the show?
I can't remember, did we?
Yeah,
I think
for being like
you
this,
brought it up.
egoless, selfless guy, sometimes you peel back enough onions of the layer and then you kind of see what's truly at the core of Jake.
Is that onions of the layer or layers of the onion, Derek?
Layers of the onion. So this 50th birthday has kind of dropped that mask, and you see that Jake is about Jake.
I love me some me, man.
Are you surprised at all that Jake has found out about whatever surprise party that you and Shannon have planned?
No, and I'm just, in all seriousness, me taking co-planning credit, it was all Shannon. I mean, Shannon put this whole thing together. Literally, my contribution was I texted her in March, and I said, hey, are you guys doing anything for Jake's, 50, 60, whatever it is, birthday? Do you want to do a surprise party? And I gave the idea for the venue. That's literally my two contributions to this entire thing. So I felt terrible for Shannon, but Jake just has a way. The problem is, Kevin, he knows every single person in this entire godforsaken city. So someone is going to say something over the course of the day. I mean, anytime you go anywhere with Jake, I'll just be walking around downtown and 15 people will come up to him because they played, I don't know, youth football with him at Eastwood, or they bought a cigar from him once at Hardwick's. They had groceries with him at O'Malley's. It's insane.
I said this earlier. Jake's brain is one of a kind. He's got the worst brain in the world to try and pull off a surprise party because he knows everyone, and he's so damn curious and inquisitive. And it's like, wait a minute, how'd you know it was my birthday? He can't just accept oh, thanks for wishing me a happy birthday. He's got to dig.
No, and he always thinks that something nefarious is going on.
Yes.
Somebody's trying to hurt me. I'm about to be fired, or whatever else. And so he's always kind of digging around. That's a great way to put it.
Now, Derek, you and I've been fired together. So who was right?
I was thinking about that yesterday because kind of sitting in the conference room on the 7th floor, I was thinking, wow, it's been a while since you and I were in a board meeting or conference room like that together, kind of going through that process. But yeah, we've been through it. We've been through a lot. I mean, there's a reason why, and I'm thrilled when you got this job, and I think you and Kevin do a great job. But I'm really happy for the best friendship that came from that show, because Jake won't admit it publicly, and he definitely won't admit it on the air right now. But I'll show you my call log sometime, Kevin. I mean, he calls me just about every day just to kind of shoot the breeze, see how I'm doing. So I know how he feels about me, and hopefully this 50th birthday party will reveal how we all feel about Jake.
Now, Derek, you're such a good friend to me that yesterday during the new employee, and first off, I'm not sure why you were there, but
me neither.
Derek,
I really don't know why I was there.
During the new employee hiring with the new company, they were going over health benefits and the prescription insurance, and my phone dings, and I look down, and it's from you, who's sitting right behind me, and it says, be sure to listen to this important meds info for your blank heart.
Well, it was. I wanted to make sure that you got the blood
He's not wrong.
And whatever else that you needed. But it was interesting, in the benefits part, they're like, if you work at least 30 hours a week, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't work 30 hours a week, and Jake works 15 a week. So do either of us qualify?
And honestly, some might argue if it's even 15 a week, Derek, frankly.
Yeah.
Derek, do you want me to save you a piece of cake here?
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of cake is it?
It's from Taylor's.
Oh, is it orange fluff?
It's not. I don't know if it's the orange fluff. It's a little racing cake.
Yeah, we got some race cars. You can give those to Derek's son, the race cars. He would love that.
Because I have to be in there for, I don't know, is it harassment training? There's something else today that I have to report for. So I'll come in and I'll grab some cake, and then I'll go through the training.
Derek, appreciate you giving us a call, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep, thanks, fellas.
Derek Schultz right there, who's put up with a lot with Jake Query over the past decade.
I think I'm very low maintenance. Right?
Derek and I meet It was every week. We've actually had to go 2 times a week. You have the tutor 2 times a week. I've got Derek 2 times a week.
Tutoring again today, by the way.
And he's been very gracious with me. We meet for a couple of hours, and we've had to change locations to get in a little bit more of a quiet setting, but always enjoy chatting with Derek Schultz right there. Matt Taylor, voice of the Colts, he joins us next. 9 o'clock hour here on the day before Jake's 50th birthday.
Put on your helmet. It's about to get real.
Coach Gus Bradley, give me your assessment of the talent level defensively.
I'm really excited about this group. You hope that you have a veteran presence that's a strong leader. Guys like Grove and Yannick and Buck. You look at the linebacking crew, Shaq and Zaire and Bobby, and then the secondary, Kenny, Julian back there. It's got a good mixture. Not only good people, but play at a high level.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Ball State football has 5 Saturday home games. Join us September 10th as the Cards take on Western Michigan at 2 p.m. Secure tickets at ballstatesports.com or charge by phone 888-BSU-TICKET.
College football this Saturday on The Fan is brought to you by Absolute Comfort, your American Standard Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer serving Central Indiana.
FanDuel wants you to be ready for game day when college football kicks off this week. Hey, it's Mark from Kevin and Query. Right now, new customers can get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week 1. Just place a $5 bet and you get $150 in free bets regardless of whether your bet wins or loses. So IU versus Illinois, the Hoosiers are down to 1.5-point favorites against the Illini. You can bet that one tonight. I had a free bet, so I put it down Oregon to shock Georgia. You can use your free bets any way you want. So to use your $5, get $150 in free bets regardless of if that bet wins or loses. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Plus, the app is safe, secure, and easy to use. They're always hooking up with great odds. And when you win, you get paid fast. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and sign up with promo code MARC and place a $5 bet to win $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season. Again, that's promo code MARC, M-A-R-C. While you're there, check out their everyday odds boost and specials. The NFL season starts next week. You can get some futures there as well. So check it all out. Again, promo code MARC, M-A-R-C, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. 21 and over and present in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable free bets. They expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Moondrops Distillery, Dan Dockage. I'm here to tell you about Moondrops Distillery, classic spirits from the heart of Fortville, Indiana. Bonfire blends, lemon shake-up, and peppermint are hitting more and more shelves, plus the classics, bourbon, rum, and now award-winning gold vodka. Grab a bottle of lemon shake-up and peppermint to enhance your shared experiences this summer. Lemon and peppermint-flavored moonshine. Serve chill to experience something special. MoondropsDistillery.com to find a retailer. Moondrops Distillery, experience something special.
Making your money go further is more important than ever. So Diamonds Direct's bringing back our most popular offer of the year. 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase. Now for a limited time, you get the amazing value Diamonds Direct is known for, and you can spread your payments over 5 years. 0 down, 0 interest. A $6,000 diamond ring is just $100 a month. Don't miss this extraordinary offer going on now. 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Details at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis. Padres, Dodgers, Sunday Night Baseball. The coverage begins at 6 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Happy birthday, Jake, from your original radio co-host and brother in the bluegrass. I can't believe we made it halfway to 100.
Go shorty, it's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip a
My original co-host?
Now, who was that?
That sounded like Dick Gabriel.
Was that Hillary?
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? So, Mike Hillary, he is correct. When I was in the second grade, he had a Jim Zorn poster on his wall. And we had a fake radio station called Hug 100. Kiss 99 was the big radio station in Indy, so we had a fake radio station that we did on tape. called Hug 100. I apologize that I didn't. Dick Gabriel is a buddy of mine that works in radio in Lexington, Kentucky. That's why I thought for a second that's who that was. And Hillary's usually a lot more boisterous than that. But he is pretty much my original brother. No question about it from the Steinmeier days.
Now, Scott Hillary sent me an email. Hey, Jake, you're my third son from many years ago. You need to stop by and pick up the Buckeyes that are still in the freezer from Christmas. Happy 50th birthday.
That's his dad, and his mom Sue makes the greatest Buckeyes, and they are so good that she could make $1 billion selling those bad boys.
Now, your mom wanted me to contact Sue, so I did, but I don't think we received Did we receive one from Sue, Mark? I don't think we did.
She's probably busy making Buckeyes.
Well, hopefully not too many for tomorrow night.
No, Mike and his brother Matt were like my two brothers growing up. No question about it. No question. And Mike will be 50 in November.
50th birthday for Jake Query coming up tomorrow night. A man that's certainly not 50. I think he's the youngest play-by-play voice in the NFL. Matt Taylor, voice of the Colts, joins us now. Good Friday morning to you, mate.
Hey, good morning, guys. Happy birthday, Jake.
Thank you, Matt. You know, it's funny because I guess it's my birthday week and it's basically Christmas week for you, right? Because here you go, right? I mean, this is what people wait for, and this is when it's your time to shine. So, and it seems, by all account, Matt, would you agree that at least right now for the Colts, you know, I know that Shaquille Leonard is a question mark, but outside of that, they've got to be about as thrilled as one can be in terms of their health and right now being ready to go.
Oh, absolutely. It's still a little bit weird and awkward because you set the 53-man roster. You're used to 4 preseason games instead of 3, and you set the 53-man roster about this time, or I should say tomorrow, normally is when the roster comes out, and then you're just ready to go. So it's weird to have this week off still where it's sort of like it's regular season week, but not really yet. But you only have 53 guys plus the practice squad out there. But, yes, health is amazing right now, and the Colts are the odds they're in their favor this year where they haven't been the last couple of years, so you really appreciate that, and you knock on wood. So they're feeling really good right now. Really the only lingering problem is Shaquille Leonard, and even that's going well because he's been on the practice field the last 2 days, and we'll see if that continues next week with 4 practices starting on Monday. I do want to double back to something you said, though, because you talked about growing up and having your own radio station. I 100% did the same thing. You called your radio station Hug 100. I used to steal my dad's records and CDs and play them in the basement. And that was my own radio station. My radio station was called WTAY, and I was on morning, afternoons, and nights.
And you were the program director, right?
You did it all.
Yeah. I was a sports guy too. Yeah.
So listen, Matt, I'll tell you another thing that I bet you did.
Smiling.
I'll tell you another thing I'll bet you did that I did. The other thing that I did was speaking of records, Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts, is our guest. My sister had a Kiss album, and it was Kiss Alive 2. This was back on vinyl. But there was so much crowd noise because it was a live album, right? I would play the album just for the crowd noise and then simulate like I was doing play-by-play with the crowd in the background. I know you did the same thing.
I did so much stuff. Another thing I did was there was a buddy down the street from me that had, this is back when, people actually went out and bought VHS tapes. This is before DVDs and streaming and everything. So he had every VHS tape ever. I'm talking like when you're little, it's all the Disney movies. When you're older, it's all the teen bopper movies. But he had them all. So I would go to his house. I would borrow all of his VHS tapes. And then I would set up my own VHS, like video rental store in my house, and I would rent his movies back to him. I would charge him like $0.25 so he could take home like Mighty Ducks 3 on VHS. It was glorious.
That is absolutely awesome. I love that. So did you say W-Tay?
Yeah, WTAY. Maytay, right?
Yeah, WTAY, and I printed out, a big sign on my computer. And I wasn't sophisticated enough to have like an on-air sign, so I just taped it in front of a lamp. And whenever I was on air, I would just turn the lamp on and put that sign in front of it. That was my on-air
What
sign.
were you?
Microsoft Word clip art.
Which wax of your dad's were you spinning the most? Like, who was your dad's musical forte that you found yourself playing most often?
Well, my dad's really into, like, Marshall Tucker and the Doobie Brothers and the Allman Brothers. I think that's sort of where I get it from.
Jethro Tull on the nines here on WTAY.
The only 12-year-old in the United States that's doing this.
Beautiful.
It's time for Aqueduct, followed by Martha by the Allman Brothers here on WTAY.
Oh, man. In full circle, he'll be on the call a week from Sunday.
It's so much fun.
Matt Taylor, voice of the Colts, brought to you by Shelby Materials, the concrete and aggregate expert. By the way, Jake, will you cut into that cake?
Yeah.
Please? Thank you. Okay, let's go to Shaq Leonard, Mate. Do you think they would play him on a pitch count?
Oh, man, great question. I think, perhaps.
Leonard doesn't come off the field. We all know that. Like, his playing time in his career, he's out there for 98% of the snaps every game. Would they have him out there for, 20 or 30 and rotate in with Zaire Franklin and Bobby Okereke?
I said yesterday, if you don't have Shaquille Leonard out there, like hypothetically, if he's not able to play week 1, you still have guys out there that you can more than win with, that you feel more than comfortable playing with, and EJ Speed and Zaire Franklin. So it's not as if you're so desperate to have Shaq Leonard, and in all due respect to him, because he's an unbelievable player, and it's not hyperbole or cliche to say that he's playing at a Hall of Fame clip to this point with his takeaway abilities and just what he means to the defense. So I'm not trying to downplay what he means, but last year in week whatever that was, week 16 or 17 on Christmas night, EJ Speed came in and he played terrific.
Right.
He had 9 tackles in that game. That was his first ever start, and he just really filled in more than adequately for Shaquille Leonard at the time.
But right now it would be Franklin, actually, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, they've got Franklin at the mic, with Bobby Okereke out there. So I don't think you can go wrong either way with Speed or Franklin out there, because they're both very, very good linebackers. The thing that I've said this whole time is you just want Shaquille Leonard to be 100% healthy whenever he steps out there for the first time, so that he doesn't have any nagging injuries, because playing that position, you're going to accrue so many little minor injuries and things that bother you throughout the course of the season. You want to be at square one the first time he's out there. So that's an interesting thought in terms of a pitch count for him, because, would you lack cohesiveness? Would you lack chemistry if you're just rotating guys in and out at that linebacker position, let's say the first week or two, maybe the third week? That's an interesting thought, but I'm more inclined to say that whenever he's healthy, he's ready to go, and you're either going to be out there or you're not going to be out there, if that makes sense with his health.
And I guess taking it a step further, and again, Matt Taylor is with us, voice of the Colts. Leonard, if there is a subpar element to his game, it's probably defending the run. So maybe you only put him out there on third downs or obvious passing situations, red zone, 2-minute, those things. These are all ideas that have popped into my head. The other thing I want to mention on Leonard before we move on, and I was talking about this earlier, this injury has been weird. It's been tough to diagnose. It's led to a back surgery to try and cure ankle pain. Like, that just sounds odd. Having said that, in the 12 years that I've been around the Colts or the NFL, if a player practices in 6 straight sessions, which Leonard practiced twice this week, you mentioned Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week. If a player has missed even a year, if they practice 6 straight times, that's probably enough for them to play in the game. And I get it. This injury situation is unique. There's probably some luck, scar tissue, all those things. I guess what I'm getting at is, at the start of the week, Matt, I thought week 3. Now I'm thinking to myself, wow, week 1 might be a real possibility.
Yeah, I've thought the same thing, because not only was his first practice, with the team going into the regular season, but it was also a full padded practice, and he was out there in full pads, right? It's not like he was just out there and, if you had to put a label on it, he would be limited. No, he was out there with the team the entire time, 11 on 11. For crying out loud, he made an interception in that first practice out there during a team drill. So he looks like he's able to sort of pick up right where he left off, and it's crazy because he hasn't been out there on any sort of field prior to this week since January, week 18 against the Jaguars in that regular season finale last year. So I'm with you. If he is able to practice next week and not have any setbacks, and he gets 6 practices, I'm saying there's nothing definitive about him playing week 1. We probably wouldn't find that out until at the earliest next Friday, so a week from today. But I'm just saying he's the type of player that, despite missing a ton of time in the offseason and all of training camp, and with it being a new scheme and a new defensive coordinator, I know all of that. But he's the type of player, given his history and given his playmaking ability, that if he gets 6 practices under his belt, you would feel good about putting him out there. He's sort of in that same bucket as a Reggie Wayne or a Marvin Harrison or a T.Y. Hilton, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, because you trust what he gives you when healthy. So if everybody agrees that he's healthy enough to play and he clears all of the tests, despite only having 6 practices under his belt, I think at that point you would feel good about Leonard playing. But as of right now, obviously it's a wait and see, and there's still a lot of boxes that need to be checked off between now and next Sunday.
Matt, when we talked with Matt Taylor's our guest, when we talked with Chris Ballard, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, he told us that the thing that probably is the biggest challenge for his job is just trying to create depth and find depth on an NFL roster. In your opinion, the one area where that still needs to be the most shored up, or where you would anticipate he is still wringing his hands because he feels like he needs more depth, would be what unit?
Well, I think it's interesting to see what the core special teamers, what that group can do, how they can produce, because there's a lot of new faces of guys that are going to be core 4-phase special teams guys. I know Trevor Denbo's on IR, but potentially has a chance to come back. He's not going to start the season playing special teams, but you will have guys like Desmond Patman if he's active. You'll have JoJo Doman, right? You're going to have some of these other guys, that they kept at certain positions to cover punts and cover kicks. And, gone are guys like Jordan Glasgow and Matt Adams and George Odom. You've got a new punter in Matt Hawk. So that, to me, is going to be the most interesting part of examining this roster going into the season. Is the Colts have been so good on special teams under Bubba Ventrone. He coaches those guys up very, very well. But he's got a lot of new faces, and he's got a lot of new guys performing different roles than they had last year because of roster turnover. And also, too, Rodrigo Blankenship is handling kickoffs, and he's never done that in the NFL. He's never kicked off before. The first time he does it in a regular season game, or the next time I should say he does it, will be the first time. And Rigoberto Sanchez was so good at hanging the ball up and pinning teams where they, scouted and where they wanted the ball to go and how they wanted to cover those kicks. So I think the biggest takeaway for me when you look at the 53-man roster going into the season is it's the starting lineups are really, really good, right? You've got top-end talent on your 22 guys on offense and defense. You've got more, you guys are going to roll your eyes when I say this, but you've got more premium players at premium positions. I've said that 1,000 times this offseason.
I would agree.
What you don't have now is, well, I should say you've lost the stability on your special teams with familiar faces. Not that these guys can't play to that level, but it's going to be interesting to see if they can pick up on special teams where the Colts left off last year. I mean, you got Ngakoue now. You've got Gilmore now. You've got Face in here. I mean, getting Julian Blackmon back at safety is like getting a first or second round pick back. Matt Ryan's here. So, your 11 on offense, your 11 on defense are really, really good. But the depth is a little bit in question just because it's new faces performing big roles that the Colts have relied upon.
Matt Taylor, voice of the Colts, he's with us here on the Payless Liquors hotline. And I believe on his LinkedIn it says started radio station WT.
That's right. Program director and all day parts.
Correct. Yes. HR.
First
he did it all.
First job in radio was 8 years old, so got started early.
Now, just for the real feel of the business, Matt, did you fire yourself at any point?
Yeah, I think the ratings were down in that second quarter.
They brought you back into freelance from time to time.
I was a consultant, I think.
That's right.
Matt, last one from me. I'm weird, and you know that. So outside of thinking about my family when I go to sleep at night, I tend to think about happy thoughts of,
Where the hell is this going?
Yeah, I tend to think of Tiger Woods, golf, Notre Dame, things like that. If you were Frank Reich, Chris Ballard, you're resting your head at night, and Jonathan Taylor is probably the thing that makes you sleep well at night, what would be second on the list? Non-Jonathan Taylor related, what makes the Colts sleep well at night entering this 2022 season?
Oh, man. Two things make me happy with thinking about the Colts to answer this question. The first one is Michael Pittman Jr., because he's going to catch, if he stays healthy and his rapport that we've seen on display with Matt Ryan, he's going to catch 100 balls this year and go over 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards receiving and score 7 or 8 touchdowns if all goes well. So that makes you feel really good. Maybe something that makes you feel even better, because it's not just one guy. It's the collective unit. It's the defense. There is, I was on with JMV yesterday. We were talking about this. This might be on paper the best collection of talent in all 3 levels of a defense since I've been covering the Colts. And there's Pro Bowlers. There's multiple Pro Bowlers at all 3 levels with Buckner and Ngakoue. And then you got to throw in Grover Stewart with his potential, who looks like one of the best nose tackles in the game with his evolution since, being drafted in the 4th round out of Division II school in 2017. Obviously, Leonard speaks for himself. Okereke is an above-average linebacker. You've got depth there with, again, Franklin and speed like we talked about. Gilmore's Gilmore. Kenny Moore is a Pro Bowler last year. Faison he's an above-average third corner when you play in nickel packages. Isaiah Rodgers is really good depth. And then I think those safeties, those young guys, they have a chance to be really, really special with Nick Cross and Julian Blackmon. So there's not a hole or a glaring weakness on the defensive side. Just really excited about the potential of that unit. Now, obviously, they have to go out and play, and they have to, there's still going to be some growing pains and some speed bumps along the road there. Hopefully not too many in the early portion of the season with a new defense under Gus Bradley. But I'm going to say Pittman on offense and just the potential for a really special defense because of the collection and the top-end talent you've added in the offseason with Ngakoue and Gilmore to that side of the ball to hopefully, be just as elite in taking the football away, just as elite in stopping the run, but hopefully calm down some of that high completion percentage and giving up some big games to receivers like has been the trouble in the past on that defense. So hopefully they can marry those things together, and that would give you eight solid hours of sleep, I think, thinking about that Colts defense going into this. That's Tempur-Pedic right there.
Good REM sleep right there.
That's Molly right. Hatchet, did you work in some Molly Hatchet on the WTAY radio airwaves?
Yeah, we did. We did a lot of Paul Simon. We did some Skinnerd. Yeah. I think he had some 45s too, so I had to get the adapter for the 45.
Well, and I mean, let's face it. Like if you had to use a bathroom, you put on Freebird, right? I mean, you get yourself a break.
Play 11 minutes of Jessica by the Allman Brothers. That was a good time killer there on the drive home.
Being the only on-air personality, Matt, it was very important you fill the time, right?
That's right. Yeah, I studied the book, man. I studied what was trending.
Plus, you can't leave the on-air sign over the lamp too long. It's hot. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, I did have to hit the pause button because I did have to go off the air when my mom made me dinner, so I had to go eat chicken nuggets for 35 minutes.
That's a great call on the lamp. You don't overheat your equipment. Right. Yeah, certainly. We all have done remote shows outside and understand how that works. Mayte, we just had someone in the YouTube chat want to confirm Rick Venturi will now slide over to radio, right, with you in the regular season?
Yes, Rick is back. Lara is back. So getting the gang back together for the 3rd year with that combination. So just incredibly excited. Plus, we're back on the road this year. It's
nice.
It's like COVID never happened. I can't wait for it.
That's awesome. Matt Taylor going to enjoy a quiet weekend before it gets real. Again, a Monday practice and then kind of a normal week from there for the Colts as they are off to Houston and off to Jacksonville. Last time they had 2 in a row on the road to start the year?
Nah, 2019.
Oh, is that recent?
Yeah, 2019. Yeah, I think this is accurate. The Colts, the last time the Colts started 2-0 with back-to-back road games to start the season was 1977.
Wow.
So hopefully they can duplicate that.
Yeah, and just the last 2-0 start in general is 09, right?
Was that the Burt Jones MVP year?
Oh, boy.
You have to get the research team on that one.
Let's get Scotty on that one.
Mark, you want to look that up?
Is that right, though, Matt?
Let me get right on that.
2009, the last 2-0 start?
That sounds correct.
Give me grief
it's been a minute.
Mate, enjoy the quiet weekend. Have fun watching the Hoosiers tonight, and we'll talk to you next Friday.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Happy birthday, Jake.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
It's a great Matt Taylor right there on the
Can you
Payless.
look up the NFL MVP? What year did Burt Jones win MVP?
I'm surprised Scotty doesn't know that. Scotty's in studio.
Scotty disputing that Burt Jones won MVP.
Scotty has some cake if you want. That was tremendous.
1976. Won the MVP and NFL Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
What'd you think of the cake?
Oh, really good.
Should I have gotten the orange fluff? My apologies on that.
No, well, orange fluff is a family one, not necessarily mine. And my mom, I'm assuming, will probably have orange fluff for us at some point. Taylor's is the best. You listen, both you guys. You did not have to. Honestly, I know you put a lot of work into it, and it is appreciated because you didn't have to do anything for my birthday other than simply say happy birthday. So. Honestly, it is special to me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's well deserved.
Happy birthday.
Well deserved. Happy birthday. And boy, I'm thinking to myself, should I go a second piece before 9:30?
Yes,
or is that a little bit? Okay.
Go big or go home,
yeah,
Kevin.
You know what? Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yep, that belly will shave itself off at some point.
You're going to be celebrating a birth here in like a week, so you might as well go ahead and have a second one, right?
You are correct on that. A pop quiz is coming up in 5 minutes. Mark, our final day of the Speedrome?
Correct, yes.
Speedrome 4-pack. We are giving that away.
And it's Friday, so you get a Jiffy Lube prize pack with that as well.
Scotty, Freebie Friday. Nice call there. Jiffy Lube prize pack will be given away. Scotty, I'm going to make an amendment to one question. I think we have to ask a Jake Query birthday question on the pop quiz, if you don't mind. Usually I love the integrity of the pop quiz, and I try to adhere to that, unlike my co-host. But we'll make a slight amendment.
What do I do wrong?
The pop
Just trying to help folks out.
Morning checkdown time here on Kevin and Corey.
The Morning Checkdown. Brought to you by Ball State Football. Get your tickets at ballstatesports.com. On 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Ball State going to bounce back after last night down in Knoxville against Tennessee. The Vols 59-10 winners over Mike New's crew. Elsewhere in college football, Indiana State 17-14 over North Alabama. And difficult time for Indiana State football, so good for Kurt Mallory's team there. In the Big Ten, Minnesota 38-0 over New Mexico State. And then, of course, Kevin, the disappointment for the Boilermakers, 35-31 Penn State over Purdue.
Yeah, and again, I know people are just ripping Jeff Brom to shreds with, he should have ran the ball the whole fourth quarter. The final drive, maybe a little bit too greedy, but I think you go with what your strength is, and that's Aiden O'Connell in your passing attack. And if that ball's on target to TJ Sheffield, no one is having an issue with Jeff Brom. The issue for me is more in how they dealt with the end of the first half. I thought that was just too big to overcome. I know they got out of that hole, but still, you just play with fire. You give Penn State really 10 points in that situation. I think that's what cost Purdue. But I think if you look big picture for the Boilers, the schedule speaks for itself. Aiden O'Connell is going to be the best quarterback in probably every game that you have this season. And I think Purdue's going to be right there at the end of the year in the West and trying to compete for a trip to Lucas Oil.
By the way, Trine beat Anderson 38-0 yesterday. Had to throw in one other state score. Major League Baseball last night, Mets over the Dodgers 5-3. It was the Orioles over Cleveland 3-0. Kansas City and Chicago, the White Sox won at 7-1. Indianapolis Indians 3-2 winners over the Louisville Bats.
Tonight, Eddie Garrison and Jim Leisure will be on the call in the battle for, I like the battle for Fort Bend. Do you like that?
The battle for the Bend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lawrence North, Lawrence Central, tonight, 7 o'clock there. That is at LC. Have you driven by LC lately? Some great renovations.
Really?
Yeah, it looks
And I love
beautiful.
their old gym. It was hard to play in, though.
A substitute taught there a couple years ago, and I'm like, I remember all this construction, and now it looks really, really nice.
In the world of racing, by the way, coming up on Sunday, it will be the IndyCar Portland race that actually gets underway about 3:30 is when the green flag falls. But you can hear that race at 3 o'clock right here on this radio station. NASCAR, taking a look at the racing schedule, the Southern 500. They are in Darlington this weekend, Sunday night, 6 o'clock. when Cup gets underway. Xfinity will be Saturday at 3 o'clock. And, of course, Formula One, the Dutch Grand Prix. That's going to be Sunday at 8:55 a.m. But as Kevin had mentioned, we've got your chance to go out and enjoy racing right here in Indianapolis. That's right. 2 great nights of family-friendly and exciting racing action this weekend right here in Indianapolis. Of course, Saturday night, that's tomorrow night, it's the Tom Wood Group Indianapolis Speedrome, powered by Lincoln Tech. The action is going to stay hot as they get closer and closer to the World Figure 8 Championships 3-hour endurance race that is next Saturday. So this Saturday, it's a full night of stock car racing on the historic 5th Mile Oval, capped off by the wild and unpredictable late model Figure 8 action. Adult tickets are just $10 this Saturday, and you can always get all of the info at speedrome.com. Also, for just $10, adult tickets for this Sunday's racing action on dirt, Indy's dirt track, that's Circle City Raceway at the Marion County Fairgrounds on Indy's southeast side. It's the finale of the Shirley Unlimited Snow Company UMP Modifieds, running this season's championship Snowball 50, plus Kenyan Midgets and Micros, all racing on the quarter-mile bull ring on dirt. Both Circle City Raceway and the Speedrome feature family-friendly racing action, great food, free parking, outrageous fun. They want to make sure that you as a family are having fun. It's a great place for kids, and the price is right. Times and location information available for Circle City Raceway at circlecityraceway.com. Hey, it's Jake Query. The IndyCar Grand Prix of Portland is this Sunday. Green flag around 3:30, but coverage begins on the Fan at 3 p.m. Brought to you by the Speedrome and Circle City Raceway.
Listen to The Ride with JMV this week for your chance to call in and win tickets to see Nick Swartzen at Old National Center in Indianapolis on Saturday, September 10th.
LP SmartSide engineered wood trim and siding is lightweight, allowing you to carry up to 5 boards at one time. Side with LP SmartSide trim and siding. Visit lpcorp.com/pro to learn more.
It's a fact. Only 0.0001% of people will ever step up to the plate as a pro baseball player. For the rest of us, there's BetRivers.com Sportsbook app. Featuring same-game parlays, you can combine different bets all from the same game. Totals? Bet 'em. Spreads? Bet 'em. Player props? It's a home run. Download the BetRivers.com Sportsbook app today. It's a whole new game.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains. Co-owner Beth Rovazini shares 5 things experts in the industry know, but you as a new homeowner may not.
Filter changes are mandatory. Maintenance is necessary. Airflow inside and out is important. Proper humidity is essential. And do not block your registers.
Trust the professionals in the big black trucks at bplusw.com. B&W Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Drains is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
The ultimate end of summer party is coming. All In Music Festival Labor Day Weekend 2022, September 3rd and 4th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. Featuring great music, great food, and lifestyle with performances by Daryl Hall and John Oates, Cage the Elephant, John Fogerty, Portugal the Man, plus Lucinda Williams, Trampled by Turtles, The Four Tops, and many more. Multiple stages, multiple days. All In Music Festival Labor Day Weekend 2022. Get details and tickets now at allinfestival.com.
My name is Kayla Sinders, and I work for Gleaners Food Bank. I am a local service manager for 3 counties in our 21-county service area, and I nominated Katie.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
My name is Katie Wilkerson. I pick up at the mobile food pantries. The best part of volunteering to hand someone some food and see the smile on their face, the relief. Without my vehicle, there's no way I'd be able to do this. To go to any of the pantries, it's at least 18 miles.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year. Whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies, or drive somewhere to serve on site, Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at jiffylubeindiana.com.
Breaking camp. Questions to be asked.
The question is, are the Colts going to get another wide receiver, or are they not?
Cuts to be made.
Roster cuts for the Colts coming.
They really haven't given us a whole lot to go on.
A roster to finalize.
They're going to telegraph something with what they do in the next couple of days.
The Colts sequester themselves on West 56th Street until the season kicks off September 11th. Follow all the news, rumors, and innuendo on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. Have you studied? Can you handle the pressure? Sharpen your pencils. It's time for the Pop Quiz with Kevin and Query. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube, Indiana's favorite oil change since 1985.
Jake, Marc just informed me that we might have had a copyright infringement.
What's that?
Apparently, Happy Birthday is copyrighted. We didn't know. So, well, you might get in trouble. We were so off key. I think they'll let it slide.
Well,
hopefully.
but songs are copyrighted and we sing them on the air, right?
That's true. Who knows?
Gosh. Not a good start with the new. I thought me dropping the candles on the stairwell while they were fully lit. I'm like, oh, I thought the building was coming down.
I hope the security cameras caught that. I would love to watch that video.
Yeah, like waving to the new ownership group as all of a sudden I'm dropping candles.
Some pyro in the hallway. Yeah. What's he doing?
I got I'm waving with the lighter in my hand. All right, it's time for the pop quiz. Jake Query turning 50 tomorrow. We'll see if a Jake-centric question is inserted into the pop quiz. But I would say a good amount of college football flavor, right, Scotty?
Scott gets very excited for the pop quiz. I love it.
Last night, Purdue did not cover 3.5, and let's just say Ball State just missed out on covering 35.5. I think it was 38-0 at halftime. I did see people were rejoicing, though, because Ball State kicked a field goal with 2 minutes to go in the game for the over to hit.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you took the over in Ball State, Tennessee, you are a winner in that one. No matter what happens on the pop quiz, it will be a winner. Freebie Friday.
Heck yeah.
Jiffy Lube prize pack, 4-pack to the Speedrome as well. Jake Query, a number on the last day you are 49 years old.
My favorite number because my birthday is on it, and I am child number 3.
Okay, that will be Chris.
What's up, Chris?
What's up, buddy? Hey, happy birthday tomorrow.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Chris, how old a fella are you?
48.
Yeah, you got to. Have you thought about 50 yet?
No, I'm still thinking about 40. I'm trying to get over 40.
Do you think you'll do like a big little? Do you think you'll do some sort of shindig for your 50th?
Probably. I mean, whatever somebody throws for me, that's fine. Yeah,
right.
I'm good with that.
Chris, you grew up where?
South side. Well, I mean, born on the east side, but went to Perry Meridian, graduated at Perry. I talked to you back around race day. I drive a forklift. You said we could drive a forklift out to the race, Indy 500.
Now, are you on the forklift right now?
That's part of Shannon's surprise tomorrow. Jake drives the forklift.
That's right.
No, I got off work about a half hour ago.
Okay. I was going to ask you to honk the horn at the forklift. So you graduate Perry Meridian, you're what, class of 93?
92.
Okay, class of 92. All right.
Falcons, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Yep. Fly Falcons, fine. Yep.
Would you like for myself, that would be Jake, to lead you off, or would you like Kevin to give you question number 1?
Gotta go Jake on his birthday.
Nothing against Kevin, but since it's your birthday tomorrow, then you go ahead.
All righty, here we go. Question number 1 for you. And I'm sorry, it's Chris, right?
Yes.
Falcon Chris. All right. Indiana football hosts Illinois tonight. Who leads the all-time series? Is it Indiana or is it Illinois?
We'll go Illinois.
Okay.
God, not even close on that one. All right, number 2. Notre Dame travels to Columbus to take on the Buckeyes tomorrow night. The Buckeyes lead the all-time series 4-2, with Ohio State winning the last 4 games. Who was the head coach of the Irish the last time they beat the Buckeyes? What a horrible question, Scotty. A. Lou Holtz, B. Elmer Layden, C. Newt Rockne, D. Ara Parseghian.
This guy was a glue, like just the glue for Notre Dame.
Hint, none of us were alive when this happened.
Newt Rockne.
All of us. Everybody in the world was not alive when this happened.
Chris, did you hear Jake's hint?
With the glue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want to read him those answers, Jake?
Lou Holtz, Elmer Layden, Newt Rockne, or Ara Parseghian?
Lou Holtz?
I thought that was the dominant glue brand, you know? I really didn't think they had any competitors. Maybe they do.
I'd give you another hint, but it'd be beating a dead horse, which then becomes glue. Okay, question number 3.
Hold sounds like hold, which is what glue does, so I guess that makes sense.
That's true. Yeah, there you go. Purdue's losing streak against Penn State's now up to 10 after last night. Who was the last quarterback for Purdue to beat the Nittany Lions? Was it Curtis Painter, Brandon Kirsch, Caleb Terbush, or Kyle Orton?
I go to Orton.
Boy, there's a couple obscure Purdue QBs, B and C on that one there. All right, Chris, what year was Jake Query born?
73.
It's my 50th birthday, Chris.
72. Yeah.
Okay.
Be 50 tomorrow? Okay, yeah.
Should Chris come to the tutor with you later today?
I'm 74.
Chris, let me tell you something.
Chris, to be fair, doing math like that is really hard.
I would make fun of you, except for that it took me 3.5 hours to do 12 algebra problems the other day, so I'm throwing no stones, brother.
That 4 out of 10 is still hitting Jake hard right now.
That's right.
I heard your algebra problem. Yeah, that's all right.
Question number 5. On this day in 1966, Joe Auer returned an opening kickoff 95 yards for a touchdown, the first regular season play in the history of a current NFL team. Can you name the team that Auer scored a touchdown for on the first play in franchise history? That's amazing. Atlanta, Cincinnati, Miami, or New Orleans?
I go with Atlanta.
Okay. You want a second guess? I'll tell you that if he'd taken it to the house, it might have been Ernest Hemingway's.
That's a good one.
Was he Key West? Sorry. It might have been
the Dolphins.
Dolphins, baby.
Dolphins,
all right.
okay.
Lock it in. Let's see how Chris did. Chris, stay on the line no matter what happens. IU football hosts the Fighting Illini of Illinois tonight. Who leads the all-time series?
The Illini do 45-25 to 2.
Scotty, I've never heard of this guy. Who? Really? Wow, shows you my Notre Dame fandom. Who was the head coach of the Irish the last time they beat the Ohio State? It was not
That's amazing.
Newt Rockne. It was not Lou Holtz. It was the hint of glue, Elmer Layden.
You blew it!
Sounds like a fun game, 7-2.
Kyle Orton was 7-2, by the way. 72 when I was born. And Miami Dolphins was correct for question number 5. Stick on the line, Chris. We'll get you the oil change.
Proud to say that I'm 50 years old. I'm not one of those gals who's afraid to tell her real age, and I like to kick, stretch, and kick. I'm 50. 50 years old.
That'll be Jake Saturday night when he gets a few drinks in him.
Right. Right when Elijah jumps out of the cake. That's going to be Jake.
That's right
there.
5-0, baby.
I believe Turnbuckle Bill's been hanging on, Mark. He wanted to wish Jake a happy birthday. Turnbuckle Bill, Jake's turning 50.
Jake, on behalf of myself, the Lakin family, and Acapulco Joe, happy birthday. I am Silver Sneakers. You are still High Top Converse.
Well, let me tell you something, Turnbuckle. Same thing that I said at the beginning of the show when Steve called in. You have been as loyal as anybody, and I'm happy and proud to be able to call you a friend that we've started out as radio friends, and of course, seeing you out and about and having beers with you before, and Acapulco Joe's with you before, and it's always good to see you. And I certainly hope for you, Bill, that your beloved Indiana Fighting Hoosiers get a win for you against Illinois.
Well, I'm going to be in that corner, and I certainly hope that Tom Allen invokes the fact that this is your birthday, and right before the Hoosiers hit that field, they're all going to be screaming, we're going to win this one for Jake.
How about that? LEO.
I love it, Bill.
LEO right at the end.
All right, Bill, I appreciate it, man. Have a good weekend, all right?
Happy birthday.
Thank you, brother.
We'll do it one final time before Jake's 50th here. Kevin and Query on a Friday.
Making your money go further is more important than ever. So Diamonds Direct's bringing back our most popular offer of the year. 5 years, zero interest financing on any purchase. Now for a limited time, you get the amazing value Diamonds Direct is known for, and you can spread your payments over 5 years. Zero down, zero interest. A $6,000 diamond ring is just $100 a month. Don't miss this extraordinary offer going on now. 5 years, zero interest financing on anything and everything at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Details at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
All right, FanDuel wants to get ready for the college football season this week. It's Mark from Kevin and Query. Right now, new customers get $150 in free bets guaranteed for week 1. All you have to do is place a $5 bet, and you get $150 in free bets, regardless of whether your bet wins or loses. Talked about it earlier. I'll say it again if you missed it. IU down to 1.5-point favorites against Illinois tonight. So if you like the Hoosiers, take them. If you like Illinois, take them as well. Whatever you want to do with your $5, do it there. I had a free bet earlier. I used it. I've got Oregon stunning Georgia over the weekend. It's a long shot, but it's a free bet. So if it pays off, it'll be nice. Use your $5 however you want. Then you get $150 in free bets guaranteed, and you can use that however you want. If you're thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. The app is safe, secure, and easy to use. They're always hooking you up with great odds, and when you win, you get paid fast. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today, sign up with promo code MARC, and place a $5 bet to get $150 in free bets guaranteed to kick off the college football season. Again, that's promo code MARC, M-A-R-C, exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And while you're on the FanDuel app, check out their great odds boosts and promotions. They got everything from Dinger Tuesdays during the baseball season, and with the NFL season right around the corner, they got odds boosts and specials coming up there as well. So again, $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Must be 21 and over in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is not withdrawable free bets. They expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
The bidding wars are ending, and it's officially a buyer's market. At thehomeloanexpert.com, we have unique loan programs for almost everyone, including those with less than perfect credit, self-employed borrowers, FHA, VA, loans with no down payment, and jumbos up to $6 million. Best part, we have lower interest rates, customer service that no one can match, and a 10-day closing guarantee. Visit thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, it's JMV. Sometimes accidents happen. Truck wrecks, car wrecks, motorcycle wrecks that just shouldn't have happened. It can mean dealing with a lot of pain, broken bones, surgeries, PT, extended medical care, even death. All of which can also add up to catastrophic harm. That's where personal injury attorney John McLaughlin at Parr Ritchie can help. John is recognized in Indiana Super Lawyer magazine as an injury attorney. It's worth a free call to see if John can help you. 317-269-2509 or visit parrinjury.com. That's PARR injury.com.
The Colts open the regular season in Houston as they take on the Texans. Coverage next Sunday morning at 10 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
It's Kevin and Query on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
15 minutes before the hour of 10 o'clock. Jake Query along with Kevin Bowen and Mark Dykton. Just have my second piece of Taylor's cake.
I thought I saw you dabble. Good for you.
Figured why not, man?
Good for you.
Why not?
Only
right?
turned 50 once.
You are correct.
It is Jake's birthday show. We've been playing some clips from Jake's family members. You know, it was hard to just pick out one friend, but we were told Mike Byron was the one to go with, so...
Well, you only had like 4 to choose from, right?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I hear a lot of them, and I was a little nervous about making sure that we picked the right one. But no, Shannon was great in providing some of those numbers, and your sisters and your mom as well. So
I was hoping for a Farkas one, though.
I thought Farkas would squeeze in there. Again, he might be jumping out of the cake tomorrow night. You got a favorite birthday?
Well, that's a good question. I don't have really any that jump out at me, to be honest with you. Probably this one. I mean, honestly. You know, like I almost feel, Kevin, and I know this sounds crazy, but it's like, I'm like, it's not here yet because, you know, and I know I've mentioned this a gabillion times. I don't want to make too much of it, but, you know, my friend Lori Paz is the one that I'd sent the text to that said, I'll never see 50. And, I still kind of chuckle about it now because I sent that text to her the day before I had my heart attack, as I told you. And so when I called her, or I can't remember if I called or texted her from my hospital room, you know, once I was okay after I had a heart attack, and said, you're not going to believe where I am and what just happened. And she's like, are you kidding me? I should have said, like, you know, I'll hit the lottery or something like that. But I said, I will drop dead of a heart attack before I'm 50. And so, you know, I just think that when that happened, you know, I wasn't working. I was between jobs and which kind of was a blessing because then I could just focus on like trying to be healthy and rehab and whatnot. But I never really birthdays to me were always just kind of like, okay. But I will admit that then became like, man, like I didn't think I'd see 50, and so here I am to try to get to that spot. And here it is. And I am well aware of the fact that, you just become more conscientious of everything. And to me, the thing that makes it special is everybody in my life. I mean, no question about it, right? And so, just for you guys to go through that effort, I mean, Mark told me he actually stayed here overnight just to put those things together, which was nice.
Got a sleeping bag, pillow, had a little campfire.
Sleep, right?
Maybe that's why the fire alarms didn't go off today. I didn't plug them.
I can't tell you how many times Mark's like, wait, did you send that clip? And now I'm scrolling through my phone being wait, that person sent it to me. Did I email that clip to him? So I'm glad we were able to get a few of this. Honestly, now looking back on it, we should have got Mottman.
Mottman's probably working, right?
Yeah, he probably has more important things.
Just tell him we need a Lions hot take. You would have dropped everything.
Oh, he'd have been like, wait, what?
He has more important things to do.
Yeah, you want to talk Aiden Hutchinson? Sure. I was looking at some over-unders on college football wins for the year. Jake, your Clemson Tigers, the over-under?
9.
10.5.
That seems a little... I mean...
Does that scream ACC football?
Their schedule's favorable. I just think...
That's the same over-under as Ohio State and Alabama.
Ohio State. Who is going to beat Ohio State? Honestly, who's going to beat Ohio State?
Michigan. Beat them last year, right? Notre Dame?
Yeah, but it's at Ohio State this year, isn't it?
Yeah, Notre Dame. Where's the Penn State game?
Is Penn State that good?
Yeah, but Happy Valley at night. And I mean,
you're right. Fluke things can happen, but that offense.
They're at Michigan State. Michigan State's preseason ranked 15.
The Penn State game is in Penn State.
That offense is so good, Ohio State's, that's even if they have an off night, they're going to fumble their way into, pardon the pun, but they're going to stumble their way into 28 to 35 points, and their defense is not terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I said this to Pete Sampson, who we had on, covers Notre Dame for The Athletic, a couple weeks ago. If right now you handed me a piece of paper and said, Kevin, the score is going to be 38-27 tomorrow night, Ohio State wins, and Tyler Buckner, Notre Dame's first-year starting quarterback, looks more than competent, would you say yes? And I would. I'd say sign up.
Yeah, I mean...
And I know it's a very loser mentality, but you'd position yourself to have a quarterback that you feel like is capable of, leading you to potentially having a playoff berth. And at the end of the year, I think an 11-point road loss at Ohio State, again, considering it's week 1 and, C.J. Stroud has all his experience and Tyler Buckner does not, that would still look pretty good, I think, in the eyes of the committee when it's all said and done.
Like I said, Kevin, when I said that I think Ohio State is going to win huge over Notre Dame, and I don't like Notre Dame, as you know, but I think Notre Dame is going to be good, and I think moving forward, they're in a really good spot. Their recruiting class has really been strong, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think they're good this year. I mean, I think they're
just
probably
a huge drop off in college football.
That's like I'm saying that as a believer of Ohio State. I'm telling you, I just look at Ohio State and I'm like, Alabama's had some great teams. Ohio State's offense, when it's clicking, is literally unstoppable.
You brought up during the break, hey, what do you guys think about Oregon and Georgia this weekend? Number 11, Oregon. Number 3, Georgia, in the Falcons Stadium, whatever it's called, Mercedes-Benz. That's a 17-point spread. Number 3 versus number 11.
Yeah, that's
2 versus 5, 17-point spread. I mean, if you look at it, the drop-off in how nationally Alabama, Ohio State, and Georgia are viewed, and I guess Clemson versus everybody else.
By the way, what's happened to Oregon? I mean, Oregon was the one that 10, 15 years ago, we were saying had a historically good offense, right?
I feel like Justin Herbert, they just didn't win at the level. You're going to look at Herbert's college career, or you're going to look at his pro career and going to be like, how did they not play in 2 national championships when he was there?
Right.
Because Stanford's fallen off in the Pac-12. USC's fallen off. I guess after Mariota, really Herbert's been the only quarterback, and when they had him, they didn't have a great a great run. Caleb wants to wish Jake a happy birthday. Good morning, Caleb.
Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everyone in Minneapolis. Happy day before the birthday, Jake.
It is Caleb, the enthusiastic intern. What's going on?
Caleb, it's been a while.
It has, yeah. I've been getting adjusted to a new schedule here, but I figured it was important to me, selfishly, to call in to wish you a happy 50th birthday, Jake, publicly. And I was thinking of everything that you would want me to say on the air about you after knowing you since I was 16 years old, bike riding in the middle of January with my buddy Eugene and our little bikes to come see you. But I would want to thank you for teaching me a lot in life. And one of the most important things you taught me was humility, Jake. And you were never preachy about it. You just taught and showed through your actions how to be proper about it. Thank you for that. I hope you have a wonderful 50th birthday, Jake.
I appreciate that, Caleb. Caleb and his buddy did ride their bikes to come see us when we were doing a show remote, and he wanted to be in radio, and he was so enthusiastic about it, and I so appreciated that. So I want to clarify first off when he said that I used to encourage them to ride their bikes to come see me, that everybody knows we're on the up and up here. But he did, and went away to school, and we've known Caleb for a long time. It's funny to me to see Caleb now be a young adult and still doing what he can. As I told Caleb, it's about breaks and it's about timing. And his knowledge is unbelievable, and so, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Humility is not something I'm typically credited with, so I appreciate that.
Thank you for that, Caleb. Let's get to Darnell as well. Darnell, welcome.
Hey, Jake. Hey, everybody. How you guys doing today?
What's up, Darnell?
Hey, Jake. I sent you a tweet earlier, but just wanted to say, hey, man, appreciate you. What you do for the city, the community, and like I said, I remember we appreciate you back in the days. You threw out the first pitch at our tournament, and like I said, you were all about the community, man, and never met your parents, but I'm sure I can tell they raised you very well. So let's have lunch sometime soon, and Kevin can come along as well since we're all in the quote Robertville area.
Well, you know what, Darnell, we still owe you a beer, right, and a pizza.
A couple things.
You've won our last 7 contests.
It was Kansas, and who else, Darnell?
And the 500
Marcus Erickson.
Yeah, Marcus Erickson. Yep.
So, but all seriousness, Jake. I mean, you put whatever you are about the community, man. I appreciate it, and for giving our sport some love every time we have our baseball season roll around. And again, I wanted to try to find that story on RTV6 you did for us. I'm not sure what year it was, but it was a great piece you did on our team when you were working for Channel 6. I was trying to find it because I wanted to retweet that, and that was just pretty awesome. So. Again, like I said, I haven't met your parents. I would love to meet your parents, but they raised you well. And like I said, welcome to the 50 Club, man. I'm 5 years into it, of course. But, hey, let's get together soon, me, you, Kevin, and we can all just hang out and just enjoy each other.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, Darnell. And
thank you, Darnell. Have a great weekend.
I always had fun coming out and seeing the old Thunder, the Indy Thunder. By the way, Mottman said, hey, man, I'm in clinic. I don't know what in clinic means, but I assume it's probably a higher priority than calling a radio show.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it is. But somehow, hey, he got word of it. Somehow he did. Jake, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I echo what so many people have said and what your siblings and your family and your friends have shared with us today. It's been a really fun last year, and your perspective on life is something that has really resonated with me and really stuck with me and everything you've been through. Not only professionally, but also, of course, health-wise. So I know that 50 and can see it, that 50 means a lot to you.
It does.
So
it
congrats.
Does. I appreciate it.
On that. Mark, thank you for your help.
No problem. Thanks for all
getting
the
all
audio.
This audio. I know we had a couple other callers we couldn't get to, so thank you.
Lots of people wanted to wish you happy birthday. So,
well, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it very much, and hopefully we'll have a fun weekend, and
we'll be back Tuesday.
We're back. We're not on Monday, right?
No.
Hell yeah.
We have a fantasy draft Tuesday, boys.
Oh, boy.
Get ready.
Nothing says happy 50th birthday like a 9 a.m. fantasy draft.
50 like a fantasy draft.
Happy 50th to Jake Query. Thank you, everybody, for listening all week long. Have a great 3-day weekend, and we'll be back Tuesday. It's game week for the Colts coming up next.